Hey everyone, how are y'all? Oh, yes, gotta put the chat on live chat. Hold on. Okay. Hey Big Al, how are you? Hey. Email is pinned to the top if anyone needs to get in touch with me. Surviving hope and Big Al, I'm not feeling any better. I feel like crap, honestly. Hey JJ, how are you? If I could get rid of the fever, I'd probably feel a little bit better. Hey Vapor, how are you? Thank you, L'Oreal. Hold on one second, I gotta get my chat on my phone to work right. Okay, there we go. Hey, Nurse Corky, how are you? Hey, Sandra, how are you? Wait, what a baby is running late. Okay, that's fine. Hey, Julie. I'm sick too, been seizing and sore throat. Oh, JJ, I've had a fever since night before last. I can't get rid of it. Musical, how are you? Hey, Crystal, how are you? Moonvale, how are you tonight? Hey, Emerald Queen. Hoping for answers. How are you? Hey, Werewolf Queen, Rum Runner, how are you tonight? Nurse Corky, you finally got here tonight. Well, we're happy that you're here. Hey, Ray, how are you? See, chat was not opening. Yeah, I've been having issues with my chat too, Ray. Mine won't stay on live chat for some reason. I put it on there and it wants to bounce back to top chat for some reason. Hey, Bryan, how are you? Let's see, just in for the ball game, so let me get a house square shut down. Okay, go ahead, Bryan. Michelle, thank you, honey. I still feel like crap though. Hey, Jan. Let's see, bloody hot, 92. It is 69 here. Half the time I'm cold, the other half I'm hot. I don't think my body can make up its mind what it wants to do. And Sema, how are you? And thank you, Sema. 21. Oh, wow. I don't know. As hot as I've been here lately, Big Al, I may would take the 21-degree weather. I also heard someone a few days ago cleaners were allowed to come back to the house. Musical, somebody else was asking that on one of the Facebook groups if they snuck in there without anyone seeing them and clean the house up. Sorry you don't feel well. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. I thought I would have felt better tonight, but I don't know. I just can't. Like, I've been taking Tylenol, but I can't get rid of it for some reason. Hey, Sudie, how are you? And Valerie, how are you? I've got like this gross tasting green tea that I've been drinking. Y'all, it's just been horrible. I hate being sick. I don't know, Sudie. I've been taking Tylenol, but I can't because I take that aspirin once a day. I can't take like ibuprofen or anything like that. Hey, Glowbug, how are you? So I'm just stuck with Tylenol. Now, Sudie, if I don't feel better by in the morning, I'm going to call the doctor. So you have to chill. And Valerie, I can't. I would miss everybody. Tylenol's what we in Australia call Panadol. Yeah, that's. Hey, Marissa, how are you? Yeah, the Tylenol has kind of been my best friend. That and that disgusting green tea, and I've got some kind of vapor cool severe cough drops that are horrible too. I'm crazy. I hate the doctor though. I'm like a little kid when it comes to the doctor. I hate it. Hey Sheila, how are you? Six Sense, how are you? Hey Che, how are you tonight? Honey lemon throat tea has been my drink today. I might find something else because that green tea is just, oh my god, y'all, it's so horrible. Hey Kimchi, how are you? Let's see, dark oak tea is the best. Hey Petey, how are you tonight? Moonshine, honey, and cinnamon. Ray, I'm all out of moonshine. I mean, I'm sorry, Brian, or I'm all out of moonshine. Did you know Tylenol was developed as a fever reducer, not pain relief? That's mostly what I take it for, is if I have a fever. Other than that, I don't really take it. No, Sima, I'm not. I never get any type of shots for anything. Thank you, Moonville. Still Twitter grounded, no explanation given for extension. So they extended your Twitter jail time, Big L? Hey, Stone Gator, how are you? Did you say moonshine? Oh, no, I said I was all out of moonshine. Wait, who said that? Brian Orr said moonshine, honey, and cinnamon. I told him I was all out of moonshine. Ray, I've never gotten one either. Never got the flu one, never got the pneumonia one. I don't do well with needles. So it was supposed to run out yesterday, now it just said, well, Big Al, I hate that. They should at least give you some type of explanation of why it's still locked. Let's see. Keeping hot the chest area, drinking water. Yeah, I've just kind of been hanging out in sweatpants and hoodies with the fan and the air going. Give you the follows. I did link. Well, there should be somebody else so Big Al that you should be able to get in touch with about that. All right, y'all. Let me grab my stuff here. They did. Um, they did unseal the search warrant, but I have read on other things um, that they're supposed to be releasing some more tomorrow. See, I have some from good old popcorn set and pay $200. Oh wow, Brian R. If you got that kind of stuff, Brian, that's like supposed to be the top notch stuff. Thank you, Che. We have 4 points of vanilla, vanilla pudding, pomegranate, and green apple. The vanilla may be alright. I don't know about the other ones. Then again, last time I tried that stuff, I got sick on it too. Alright, y'all. Hold on one second. I'm just going to pull this up so we can go over it. Hey, the post office prince, how are you? Lemon honey. 6 cents. If it don't start getting better, like if my throat's not bad right now, but if it starts getting worse to the point where I lose my voice, I'll go get some type of whiskey or something for it. Hey, honey, how are you? Just a little small. Okay, let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit, and I will tell y'all the writing on some of these is not the best. Let's see. Okay. Hey, banker guy, how are you? Get some whiskey even if it don't get better. I can't drink too much. I tend to get an attitude whenever I drink too much, so I try not to do so unless I need to. It goes over 100 flavors. He is from Kentucky. Let's see, and you cannot do these as shots. They're mixers or sippers, way too strong for a shot. No, no, Millimeter, you're not the only person. There is something for sure off with this case. Others, moonshine show, because I hate to know pay $200. Seventh row, how are you? All right. I don't, hopefully y'all can see it a little bit better. Okay. So it just says it's from the county of Monroe. It has a docket number, police incident, and it's all this different stuff. And it's Trooper Justin Leary. I believe that's how you say his last name. And then Trooper Bryan Knoll. For both of them are for the Pennsylvania State Police. Like I said, some of this is just like it's even super hard for me to read. Hey, perfect. How are you? So you try some Knob Creek whiskey. It'll burn your tongue. Oh, I don't want anything that hot. But I may have to end up getting something though. Whiskey and tequila. I yeah, I can't do tequila. Hey, headphones. How are you? Okay, so it says that the specific description of premises and/or person to be searched, and they have Brian's parents' house, their address here, 119 Lambston Drive in Chestnut Hill Township, Monroe County. It's a single-family resident with white siding, tan foundation, dark-colored shutters. Let's see, an attached garage. It's got a small shed with the door and windows located at the rear of the property along with the curtilage of the property. Angel Marie, how are you? See, oh, okay, so you're Sweet Pickles. All right. I'll have to remember that. And also while I'm thinking about it, H-Town Finest, today is his birthday, so if he does come in, y'all make sure to wish him a happy birthday. Okay. And it's just saying, hey, Yorkie Mama, how are you? And it's just saying that the warrant application was approved by the district attorney, DA, and I can't read the two right on what his name is. They just signed it. Um, they did this on, it was issued on December the 29th at 4:35 p.m., but they had until December the 31st at 4:35 p.m. to serve it. Hey, William, how are you? They said that it didn't matter any time of day or any time during the day or night, but no event later than 4:35 on December the 31st. So they had to end up doing it, or I guess that's why they chose to do it at like 1 something in the morning on the 30th. And Sama, I can't remember if I've said hi to you. How are you doing tonight? Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think. There was something on each little page that I was going to read to y'all. Hey, John, you need something. Okay. Give me just 1 second. This is just a return of service and inventory. And like I said, they did not release anything that they took out of the house, and they did not release anything that they got from the car. That is allegedly supposed to be released tomorrow. Oh, Cheryl, where did I see that at? I want to say I seen it um, maybe on his community page. He had took a picture of Buster, and um, I had asked him that, but Buster didn't have anything to say about it. I tried to watch it yesterday, but I didn't feel good at all. Hey, Jim J, how are you? Have you heard that they're talking about the university considering tearing down the house? Honey, yes, the house was donated to the university by the owner, and then the university has said that they will be tearing it down uh, sometime during the spring semester. They're supposed to do it. On the phone while I feed the pet sheep. Okay, and this is just signatures of people who seized the property, and pretty much all they did was took, or what it looks like they got was literally the clothes on his back when he was arrested, a flashlight, and four medical gloves, which I'll get to that list here in a minute. Shit, hold on. Trying to get everything switched around on my desk. Hey, Lori and CJ, how are you? Kelly M, how are you? See, hey, who's still feeling? Oh, thank you, Kelly. Okay, y'all. And I'm sorry, I'm like slow as hell tonight. And y'all, real quick, also please keep 9mm and her husband in your prayers. Or her husband had to have surgery today. She says it went good, but still keep them in your prayers. Okay. I think this is just rules for what they have to do for the search warrants or whatever. This is a receipt for inventory of seized property, and it's for Bryan C. Kohberger. Wasn't nothing on this page, but it does say to see the attached FBI thing, which is right here. Let's see if I can scoot it over a little bit where y'all can see it. Okay. Bed rest for a few days at 4 freelance again. Thank you, Lori and CJ. Hey, Judy, how are you? Okay. So this is what they got. Like I said, it just basically looks like what the dude had on when he was arrested. So they got one Defiant silver flashlight. I was gonna look it up, but I seen where somebody said it's like one of the smaller type flashlights. He had four medical style gloves. He had a white Arizona Jean Company large T-shirt, a Champion WSU Cougars a large black sweatshirt, and y'all honestly, it looks like a kindergartner wrote this. Let's see, he had on a pair of black and white size 13 Nike shoes, a pair of black Under Armour socks, a pair of Under Armour black large shorts. They even took his Under Armour black boxers. And they also did, I, they're saying that they took a buckle swab from the house, or he had it on him or whatever, or either that or they took a buckle swab of his mouth or whatever while he was at the house, because it does tell them in the search warrant that they do want to get a buckle swab. A lot of people are arguing that he had one on him for whatever reason. Other people are arguing that they took the swab at the house. It's like a doctor. I could have swore when I first looked at it this morning that the buckle swab, I could have swore it said buckle scrub. A buckle swab, 6 cents, is where it's like a long Q-tip. They swab the inside of your mouth, like your inside of your cheek, and then they put it into a tube, and it's basically just they use it for DNA stuff like that. So I mean, that's literally all they got. Just basically, I'm assuming this is what he had on at intake. I don't know why he would have four medical style gloves and a flashlight unless they caught him while he was still awake and he was doing cleaning or walking out in the neighborhood or whatever. I don't know what he was doing, but I understand everything else. It just it looks like that's what he had on when he was arrested. Kind of curious about the medical style gloves and the flashlight. Okay, so there's nothing else on this. And I'm assuming, yes, Cheryl, I saw that too. They've actually, I think the FDA had stopped it from entering the U.S. But he will be back. um, I'm assuming that whenever Bryan signed this, he was in handcuffs. If not, he's got really, really bad handwriting too. Let's see. Okay, so this here, they attached this is still the application for the search warrant and authorization. It's the same thing as what I was showing y'all a minute ago. Was with Trooper Justin Leary and Bryan and Trooper Bryan Knoll. It's all the same piece of paper. It was issued on December the 29th at 4:35 p.m. They had until December the 31st at 4:35 p.m. to serve the warrant. Um, it's all the same thing, but then they attach it to with the application of search warrant continuation pages. And this is everything. Hey, Speculation Station, how are you? This is everything here. The continuation, if you look right, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but it's a continuation of items to be searched and seized, and it's got like a big X up here. It's not unusual to the case if they list what's in the scope of the warrant, see what they're looking for to seize. Yeah, this is all of it right here. Hold on, I'm trying to get it where y'all can see it. Yeah, it's like a lot on here. And like I said, it's they don't what was released today, um they don't show what else they found. So it is being said that tomorrow they were supposed to release some more. All right, and I'm gonna try to read through all this for y'all real quick. But it says for the items to be searched and seized, it's any and all of the followings which may be found on his person, and it's blood or other bodily fluids or materials and items with blood or other bodily fluids or materials on, in, or near them. And it's, hey Jody, it's cool. How are you? Speculation station. I'm all right. I'm sick, but other than that, I'm okay. All right. So it says knives, sheaths, other weapons, or instrumentalities of injury or death, and sales receipts or documentation from purchases or acquisitions of such items. Documents, records, medications, drugs, and or other substances, prescription or otherwise, bottles, labels, syringes, packaging, and or items associated with medications, drugs, or other substances, prescriptions, or otherwise that could relate to physical or mental states of assailants or victims, or relating to or containing information indicating, suggesting, or otherwise evidencing a violence, a physical attack, a fight, or mode of hostility, or any of the same. Hey, Delene, how are you? Okay, and then it says any property belonging to Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Cornodal, Madison Mogan, Bethany Funk, and or Dylan Mortensen. So I'm wondering if they're thinking if if he maybe took something of theirs, um, or they just threw that in there in case they found it, just in case that he did. So it says documents, records, data compilations related to 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, and or Ethan Chapin and or Kaylee Gonzalez and or Xana Cornodal and or Madison Mogan, and it says for Bethany and Dylan as well. Clothing to include but not limited to dark shirts or pants, mask, shoes with a diamond pattern sole, DNA footprints, fingerprints, fibers, animal and or human hair, or other physical or trace evidence of items bearing these relating to or containing information indicating, suggesting, or related to violence, a fight, or motive hostility for any of the same. And it says 4 samples of Bryan Kohberger's DNA by buccal swabs taken from inside of Kohberger's mouth and or whole blood samples. So that's where people were kind of arguing because it does say for them to do the buccal swabs, but some people were saying that because it had it on the list with clothes and all that, which obviously, like I said, sounds like that's what he had on the intake. But some people are saying, well, that means he must have had a buccal swab on him. Others are saying no, that they took it at the house. Some people are saying that they wouldn't do a buccal swab at the house. So I don't know. But they're asking for it to be done. So, and yes, if y'all haven't done so, please go hit the thumbs up. Hey, King Scarlet, how are you? Yeah, Crime Crazy. It's been like just some crazy off the wall stuff that I've been watching and reading on Facebook today. It's been horrible. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. I gotta grab something, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Thank you, Lori and CJ. All right. Okay, so let me go up. And can y'all see this writing okay? If not, I think I can zoom it in just a little bit more for y'all. Save yourself the reading on the last portion. Just say his electronic existence. Yeah, that's a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to go back through and read it. It says all electronic devices. I wonder if they took his mama and daddy's uh, phones also. Hey, Midwest girl, how are you? You think they did? Because it says all electronic devices, including all communications content. So, damn, they would have taken. And it also says that his sister lived there. His sister Amanda lived at the house with them. So then that would have meant that's four phones plus any cell or tablets, computers, laptops, all that. Okay, so let me go back up here then. Okay. All right, so they're also wanting clothing to include, but not limited to. Okay, I've read that. So DNA, fingerprints, footprints, fiber, animal and/or human hair, physical trace evidence. Okay, let's see. I read that, so I didn't scroll up far enough. Okay, then they're wanting alcoholic beverages, other intoxicants, and any containers or receipts for the same. All right, and then they want the data compilations relating to containing information indicating, suggesting, or related to violent stabbing, a fight, or mode of hostility for any of the same to include without limitation ledgers, papers, lists, books, notes, letters, calendars, diaries, tapes, photographs, videos, and other media or similar documents or items, computer communication. So, like, they just want all of that, plus all of his electronic devices. Cheryl, I believe both of them, both of his sisters, are something to do with therapy, counseling, something like that. Okay, I want to talk about phones real quick. All right, Big Al, you want to come up? Hold on. Oh, got a link for you. Okay. Okay. What the hell is happening to my computer? Hold on one second, y'all. Well, shit. I think my mouse is going out. All right, Big Al, I'm bringing you up. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. As good as can be, I guess. It's snowing and cold again, but we're like northern Minnesota. No, we were talking about you were talking about phones, and I just wanted to throw some out there to understand when it comes to this stuff.
Okay, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is that way better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So when it comes to the cell phones, Android or iPhone, you can do what's called jailbreaking or rooting the phone, which is basically taking out the control of the cellular provider and Apple and making the phone do what you want it to do.
Uh huh.
Most phones have an SD card for extended storage.
Right.
So if you want to add like music or have more pictures or whatever, it's, that's available to you.
Uh huh.
Now, the flip side of that is people who really know computers can download an application and run it virtually from that card, meaning it never touches the phone. So, say you want to do something
Okay.
nefarious with your phone or have chats or talk to people or send threats or whatever over like a one of those anonymous apps like WhatsApp or Text Now or something like that, you can run it off of that card.
Okay.
So essentially, when you take the card out of the phone, that data is gone if you know what you're doing. And I don't know how well this guy was versed with computers. Obviously, he had to know something.
Yeah, I mean,
And none of this,
he did go to college for the was it digital forensics or
yeah,
whatever.
and none of
So,
this stuff is really that hard if you know how to and where to look on the internet.
mm,
I mean, when I buy a new phone, the first thing I do is break into it. That's literally I bring it home and break into it, so I can run apps that I want to run and run them how I want to run them, and take apps off that I don't want running.
uh-huh.
And you can't do that in a lot of cases without breaking into the phone. So my point is if they came and took all the electronic devices in the house, he might have been smart enough to run apps or store data photographs, conversations, whatever on that card, and then 86 the card. But if he was having conversations with his sister or his mom or his dad, and they find half of the conversation on their phones, that's no bueno. Just like with his computer, if he's running it on a virtual machine, it's not actually storing data on the hard drive, they're going to come up with a dead end. But if they find the other end of those conversations on computers that belong to his family, they'd still have that information. So if he's good with computers and if he's good with phones, there's ways for him to hide this stuff and feel confident and be like, yeah, take my phone. Fuck you.
Okay, so do we think that this guy is that smart though?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on his level of education and dedication to being hidden.
Well, I mean, he did bring his phone with him to commit a murder.
He did. And that's why I kind of wonder about it. But the more we get into these cases where technology is involved, the more I think some of these people got to be smart enough to know some of this shit. I mean, it's not rocket science, and it's not hidden information. It's all out there on the internet for you to find.
Right.
And if you just do a little bit of work learning how to do it, I mean, you're not going to ever hide everything because you have to connect to the internet through something. And everything you do, every connection you make is in a log file somewhere. But the actual data of the speaking isn't logged. If you're having a message with somebody, you run the application off the SD card, you take the SD card out, burn it with a lighter, it's done.
I wonder if he did that though.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the more of these cases we get into where these smartphones are involved, I'm very intrigued with whether or not people are trying to, cover their tracks.
Do y'all hear background noise?
I think Judy still has audio open.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't hearing stuff tonight.
Well, it sounded like she still has her YouTube's not muted.
Oh, okay. Judy, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. How are you?
I'm just ducky.
Ducky. Well, I'll let you get back to it. I just wanted to share that. I'll probably come back later.
Okay. Thank you.
See you. Bye.
All right. Okay. All right, Judy, you still up here with me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Scott said, but you can wipe your hard drive still and can recover data. And if he had now included memory. Somebody was saying about the Fire Stick. See, didn't he report? Yes, 6 cents. There was a Fire Stick that was in his apartment that they took. They had it listed in that search warrant of stuff that they had taken. Okay. All right. So, all right. And then the last thing, and I'm not going to go through this whole electronic device thing because we already know what all that's about. They're just basically asking for any records. And I think, I'm going to have to change the batteries in my mouse because I think it's trying to go out. So bear with me for 1 second, y'all. Shit, if I can find the batteries. Let's see. There's a hidden menu. Oh shit, I don't know where my batteries are, y'all. What the hell? Hold on. I got them. Let's see. There was a hidden menu with recording voices. Wait, Scott, what are we talking about? There's going to be they're going to have to dig a serious hole. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if he was that smart, though. To do like Big Al was saying with his phone. Hold on, y'all. I know it's a black screen up there, but I can't change it right now because I've got my mouse turned off. I'm trying to change the battery in it real quick. All right, this damn thing better work. Ha, here we go. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, is it back up on the screen? Okay, yeah, there it goes. Okay. So they're asking on there just IP addresses associated with it, bookmarks, web history, Wi-Fi logs, social, see photo or social networking post, cellular tower connection data, including the metadata. Okay, so it's just asking all of that. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Right on a piece of paper that you need to buy more batteries.
No, I just opened a whole brand new pack.
Okay.
I just couldn't find them because Judy, you should see my drawer in my desk. It's horrible. Like everything that's not on top of my desk is in my drawer in my desk. But yeah, I've got them now. And my mouse only takes one battery in it, so okay. So this is the same thing again. The application for the search warrant and authorization, and they literally attach it several different times throughout this whole thing. New stuff on page. It says trans 48 hours has a little apps. Okay. Like I said, there's where they was issued it on December the 29th. It had to be done by December the 31st. Like I said, same thing. And then this here is another continuation page. And it says items to be searched and seized. And this one here says basically the same thing as the other page that I was just reading on. This one, though, says items to be searched and seized. The person of Bryan C. Kohberger, date of birth 11/21/94. There's the blood or other bodily fluids, like all the same stuff that I was reading is asking for anything belonging to the 4 victims or Bethany or Dylan, anything that has to do with the 1122 King Road, the DNA footprints, fingerprints, fibers, all electronic devices. And then at the very bottom down here, this one says indica of a residency in or ownership or possession of the premises and any of the above items. And then it also says all vehicles in which Kohberger has access to, including but not limited to the white 2015 Hyundai Elantra, and then it has the VIN number. So all vehicles in which he has access to, I'm wondering if they took, obviously they're going to take the white Elantra, but I'm wondering if they took his parents' vehicles. And a Fire Stick is sort of like the Roku. You can get the little thing that you can plug into the little Roku thing you plug into your TV. So it's sort of like that. And in Fire Stick through Amazon, it might send you a set of rechargeable batteries in their charger. I have some. Oh, well, Emerald Queen, thank you. That would be so sweet. Yeah, I go through batteries like crazy. I may have to do like Judy said and make a note to get some more because I go through them like crazy. So you have no clue on the printer. See, most smart TVs have surveillance as well. Wait, really? Oh, well, damn. Okay, here's the probable cause. And Judy, can you see the writing on that okay from where you're at?
Well, I'm really not trying to be honest, because
okay, but I mean, you can
not
see
too good, but it's okay.
Okay,
I can see it on my tablet, but my phone is kind of
okay. I'm curious because I'm gonna try to zoom it in a little bit, but I'm trying to do it to where I don't have to keep like scrolling over. Let's see, maybe that's okay. But that way everybody else can read it as well. Okay, but now I can't see chat. So, wait, let me see. So, do you think he could have left the sheath on purpose, given the fact that he would have kept it and returned the knife into the sheath? Let's see, it would be another piece of evidence to get rid of due to the fact that it would have blood inside the sheath. I don't know, Vapor. I mean, I think it's possible that he left it on purpose, um, to try to make law enforcement possibly think that the person who did this was military affiliated, um, and or the whole vegan thing. Like, why would a vegan have a leather sheath? I think that. Let's see. But I mean, would it have made more sense to put the knife in the sheath and then hide both of them if he didn't leave it on purpose? Let's see, it's small. Okay, Emerald Queen, thank you. Okay, so this is the affidavit of probable cause. All right, I'm gonna try to get this to where everybody can read it. Okay, if I was in issues, that knife and sheath would have been at the bottom of a deep lake. I don't know. I would have probably had to have cut it up, burn it, did something with it. Okay. All right, so it says that your affiant is Trooper Justin M. Leary of the Pennsylvania State Police, Stroudsburg Station Criminal Investigation Unit since 2009. I have served as a detective with the Lackawanna County District Attorney's Office, a special agent with the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, a task force officer with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and currently as a trooper with the Pennsylvania State Police Troop N Vice Unit. Throughout my career, I've conducted hundreds of criminal investigations, including numerous homicide investigations. Let's see. Your affiant is Trooper Bryan V. Knoll, and that is the two troopers that was on the other piece of paper, the application for the search warrant. And let's see, so Trooper Bryan Knoll of the Pennsylvania State Police, Troop N, a criminal investigation assessment officer. I've been employed with the Pennsylvania State Police since 2008 and assigned as a criminal investigator since 2012. I have been assigned as a criminal investigation assessment officer since 2019, and throughout my career, I have conducted hundreds of criminal investigations, including numerous homicide investigations. So on Wednesday, December the 28th of 2022, the Pennsylvania State Police was requested to assist the Moscow Police Department in Moscow, Idaho, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation with a homicide investigation which occurred on Sunday, November 13th, 2022. And as a part of this investigation, we reviewed reports and affidavits prepared by the Moscow Police Department establishing probable cause for issuance of search warrants related to the investigation, which are included in the affidavit of the probable cause as Exhibit A. Now, they do include the PCA from Moscow in this, and then at the very end of it, there is some stuff that was added to it from this department. Let's see. Let me check the chat real quick, y'all. Okay, now two separate pieces of evidence. It could get lost, stolen, whatever. It's just one more thing connecting to the crime that we need to be dealt with. Okay. All right, so it says, furthermore, investigators began physical surveillance of the property in area of 119 Lambsden Drive, Churchnut Hill Township, and in the early morning hours of Tuesday, December the 27th, 2022, observed Bryan Kohberger walking near his residence. Additionally, Kohberger's vehicle was observed entering the Indian Mountain Lakes development on December 16, 2022, and the vehicle is still believed to be on the premises. Investigators are also monitoring Kohberger's cellular phone, which appears to be in the vicinity of his residence. On Wednesday, December the 28th of 2022, while conducting surveillance, investigators observed Kohberger traveling throughout Monroe County, and arriving back at his residence on Lambsden Drive. Based upon this, your affiants believe that Kohberger is located inside this residence and is in possession of items related to the investigation. Werewolf Queen, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. And she says, has it really been that long? It seems like time is flying with everybody and how long we've been like, you know, on YouTube. Like I've been doing this since June, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Okay, just want to do the same thing today with my color. Oh, okay, you talking about something else. All right. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat also. Okay. It says your affiants are requesting a search warrant be issued for the search and seizure of all items listed in the items to be searched, along with forensic processing of the all items. Your affiants are requesting all digital devices seized be forensically examined and in a controlled environment at some future date and until such examinations are complete. Additionally, based upon the serious and violent nature of the crimes, including risk of general public safety, your affiants are requesting a nighttime search warrant be issued to execute the search warrant at any time and the affidavit of probable cause be sealed. Okay. All right. And then this is where they both had signed it. Is this still a case? What about me? Pawpaw's boat? What do you mean? What about you? Okay. All right. So this is the affidavit or the PCA from Moscow, statement of Brett Payne. It's I'm not going to read through the whole thing. We've been over it, but it's the entire PCA. Okay. And they basically both troopers signed the bottom of both pages. Okay, I just gotta find because there is one spot on here where they started adding their own stuff to it. I just gotta find it. Hey Izzy, how are you? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Still not there yet. Alright, give me just a second. Now I done lost my dang spot, y'all. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about where he got pulled over on the 21st. Okay. That's where he got pulled over, or okay, yeah, that was a WSU. All right. Okay. All right, Werewolf Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. She said, "Love mods, love squad, love. See, you are awesome. Thank you." Okay. All right. I'm trying to find the spot on here where they start putting their own information in it. Hold on just a second, y'all. Okay. Well, shit. Okay, this is. I don't remember if this is. Maybe this is a new part. I should have marked it. See, investigators believe that Kohberger is still driving the 2015 White Elantra because his vehicle was captured December the 13th. Okay, so now this was all. This was all part of the other. Yeah, I've got to find it here in just a second. Well, shit. Okay, so yeah. Okay, yeah, and I'm sorry I can't see the chat either. Look for 24, 48 hours. Okay. I I should have had it marked, but okay, so here we go right here. All right, so it says this is where the Pennsylvania uh, state police had added their stuff in it. It says based off the above information, I am seeking a search warrant for Kohberger's person in his parents' residence located at 119 Lamson Drive in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. So 119 Lamson Drive, Albrights, Pennsylvania, is a single-family two-story residence, white in color. There is a two-car garage located on the west side of the residence. This is the location Kohberger is currently believed to be at based off of cellular phone data received in previous warrants. Based off the information gathered during this investigation, it is believed that Kohberger's mother, Mary Ann Kohberger, father Michael Kohberger, and sister Amanda Kohberger currently reside in the residence. In addition, I am seeking a warrant for all outbuildings and sheds located on the property. It is also believed that Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra, which is suspect vehicle 1, is stored in the two-car garage on the west side of the residence. And based off the above facts, I am requesting a search warrant for Kohberger's white 2015 Hyundai Elantra bearing the VIN number for wherever it is found. The Hyundai Elantra is registered solely to Kohberger. So based on my experience or the experience of the investigators trained in forensic technology, I provide the following. Okay. And this gets like, it starts going to a whole thing about scanning the facial features and the eyes and fingerprint scans and all this stuff. Let's see. Caleb must have been missing. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up real quick in chat, y'all. Okay. Okay. All right. Judy, you still up here with me? I can't.
Absolutely.
Okay, I see. I just, the way I have my page up here, I can't see my chat or anything unless I'm looking at chat on my phone. Okay. So it says, and I'm probably just going to skim over this because it's like literally, I think, several different paragraphs of this, but I'm going to try to get through it as quick as I can. It says many electronic devices, particularly newer mobile devices and laptops, offer their users the ability to unlock the device through biometric features in lieu of a numeric or alphanumeric passcode or password. And they're just talking about fingerprint scanners, facial recognition features, iris recognition features. Some devices offer a combination of the biometric features. Let's see. I gotta scroll down, and the user of such devices can select which features that they would like to utilize. And what it's doing is just it's telling what each thing can do, and then like they get, let's just say, Bryan Kohberger's cell phone, and it needs his facial recognition in order to open it, they're asking for permission to do that. And see, it's talking about the device is equipped with an iris recognition feature. The user may enable the ability to unlock the device with his or her irises. Okay, I'm not even going to go through all that. It's just telling how that what it basically what each little thing does. Okay, so it says, as discussed in the affidavit, based on my training and experience, I believe that one or more digital devices will be found during the search. The passcode or password that would unlock the devices subject to the search under this warrant is not known to law enforcement. Thus, law enforcement personnel may not otherwise be able to access the data contained within the devices, making the use of biometric features necessary to the execution of the search authorized by this warrant. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Okay. So it says, I also know from my training and experience, as well as from information found in the publicly available materials, including those published by device manufacturers, that biometric features will not unlock a device in some circumstances, even if such features are enabled. This can occur when a device has been restarted, inactive, or has not been unlocked for a certain period of time. For example, Apple devices cannot be unlocked using Touch ID when more than 48 hours has elapsed since the device was last unlocked, or 2, when the device has not been unlocked using a fingerprint for 8 hours and the passcode or password has not been entered in the last 6 days. Certain Android devices cannot be unlocked with Trusted Face if the device has remained inactive for 4 hours. Biometric features from the other brands carry similar restrictions. Thus, in the event law enforcement personnel encounter a locked device equipped with biometric features, this opportunity to unlock the device through a biometric feature may exist for only a short time. So, in my training and experience, the person who is in possession of a device or has the device among his and her belongings at the time that the device is found is likely the user of the device. Okay, however, in my training and experience, that person may not be the only user of the device whose physical characteristics are among those that will unlock the device via the biometric features, and it is also possible that the person who is in possession of the device is found and not actually a user of that device at all. Furthermore, in my training and experience, I know that in some cases it may not be possible to know with certainty who is a user of a given device, such as if the device is found in a common area of a premises without any identifying information on the exterior of the device. They literally go like very detailed on this. Okay, thus it will likely be necessary for law enforcement to have the ability to require any individual who is found at the subject premises and reasonably believed by law enforcement to be the user of the device to unlock the device using biometric features in the same manner as discussed above. Due to the foregoing, if law enforcement personnel encounter a device that is subject to seizure pursuant to this warrant and may be unlocked using one of the aforementioned biometric features, the warrant I am applying for would permit law enforcement personnel to 1, press or swipe the fingers, including thumbs, of any individual who is found at the subject's premises and reasonably believed by law enforcement to be a user of the devices, to the fingerprint scanner of the device found at the premises, or 2, hold the device or devices found at the premises in front of the face to those same individuals and activate the facial recognition feature, and or 3, hold the devices found at the premises in front of the face for those same individuals and activate the iris recognition feature for the purpose of attempting to unlock the devices in order to search the contents as authorized by this warrant. Okay, so that was the end of it. Both of the troopers signed it. Their sloppy handwriting down here. So, okay, let me get this off my page. I got to get into my other chat real quick, y'all. I can't I can't take just having one chat pulled up here. Um, she belongs. Yeah, Michelle would be too. Um, so hopefully tomorrow more information will come out. They have the warrant for the phone. I mean, not the phone, the his car and the house. Hopefully, they will come out tomorrow with everything that was found in both of those. I'm super curious to find out what they found in the car. That's what I was hoping would have came out today. Because I'm curious, even though he cleaned the car thoroughly, they said, um, if there's any blood in there, I don't think he got it out. Judy, what you think?
I can only hope and pray that he wasn't that successful.
I hope not. I mean, because I don't see this dude leaving out of that house with nothing, no kind of blood or anything. And I want to ask y'all real quick while I'm thinking about it. I had seen today, I was reading on an article, and they're claiming on that article that the car, Bryan's car, this 2015 white Hyundai Elantra that was the infamous white car, um, that the day that he was arrested, it was stolen from his parents' house. Now, I thought that was weird, but I kept reading the article, got down to another part where they were talking about the Mad Greek and they called it the Crazy Greek. So I just took it as it being um, a not a credible source. But then I
That
read,
what?
huh?
That what?
They called the Mad Greek, which is where Xana and Maddie worked at the restaurant. They called it the Crazy Greek. So when I seen that, I took them as not being a credible source. Um, and honestly, I thought that they were just bullshitting about the car being stolen. But then I read somewhere else where somebody had said that they had saw the same thing, that the car had been stolen the day that he was arrested from his parents' house. Now, he was arrested at like, or they raided the house at what, like one something, I think it was in the morning, two
Is that
something.
somebody saying that because they took possession of it?
I don't know. That's what, see, because that's what I was thinking. Like, if they're gonna, they raid someone's house and they have a warrant for the car, I don't think police is gonna leave the house until the car is left on the back of a tow truck, or police take it or whatever. But then I seen where somebody else had said something about it, so I'm trying to find if there's anything else about it other than what I've read through Facebook posts. So I was curious, has anybody else heard that about the car being stolen the day that he was arrested?
I haven't heard anything like that.
And today was the first time I'd ever heard anything about it. Hey, the other Sharon, how are you?
I mean, if agents watched him clean the car and could not tell him not to do it because
Right, which
they didn't want to give away their hand, then
right.
obviously those agents were close enough to watch that car.
Yeah, it didn't make sense when I first read it, but I kept reading the article, and then when I seen where they called the Mad Greek the Crazy Greek, I was like, okay, this article is incredible. I'm not worried about it. It was just they don't know what they're talking about. Um, but then I ended up seeing it somewhere else where other people were talking about it.
Well, you know what they say. Fuck around and find out.
I'm just curious though, how do they lose a car that that's like they have a warrant for and they were there and he would allegedly this happened the day that he was arrested.
Well, unless somebody, which there was 4 people in that house, Unless one of the four drove that car somewhere. That car didn't go nowhere. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Didn't they say they had it inside one of the garages?
Yeah, they said that they believed that it was in in the garage on the house.
Well, that's a little bit secure for somebody just to walk up and steal it.
I'm just curious though, like all these different places are claiming that he was driving all around. They were watching his cell phone. They were watching him at the house. You know that they had to suck that they had to sit there and watch him clean that car out, and they couldn't stop him.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
they had to let him do it because they didn't have the warrant at that time. So any evidence that could have been in that car, if it wouldn't already gotten out when he cleaned it before that, there was a chance of it getting out of there then. And they just basically had to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, but they just follow the trash too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that's how they figured out he was putting trash in the neighbors.
Yeah, because didn't they say that the day that they saw him cleaning the car was the day that or that later on that night is when he put the trash in the neighbor's trash can?
Something like that.
I couldn't remember if it was the same day or a night, or because I mean, knowing this guy, he could have been out there at 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning the car. His neighbors in Washington did say that he was like a night person. He was up at all hours of the night. Okay, the
Well,
only
that's
thing I could
weird that
find.
they know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it was his neighbors that was under him. Like the apartment building was 3 stories, and I believe the people that lived under his apartment are the ones that said that he was up all night, that they could hear him pacing the floors. He would be running his garbage disposal at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Uh, he would be vacuuming, like always making noises, like he was deep cleaning and all that. And the woman said that she wanted to say something about it because he was keeping them awake, but then she decided not to, just in case because she had small kids, um, that she didn't want to say anything and upset him, because just in case there may be a night that her kids were crying or something and kept him awake. But you know, there's no telling what those neighbors heard going on in that apartment.
Well, we know it wasn't sex.
No, but they did say that he had that there was a lady that was seen with him a couple of times at his apartment. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. It could have just been somebody he was tutoring. It may not even be true. Hey, the Rockaways, how are you?
Well, I don't know then. I thought the story went that he was pretty celibate, but
I think that that's how it was. Banker Guy says, I love this lady. Banker Guy, Judy is just awesome, isn't she?
before I forget to ask,
Mm-hmm.
you were saying something about Roku before, and then the hot spot or something. Which one do you suggest?
I know nothing about the Fire Stick. All of my stuff is all Roku.
Yeah, that's
So
kind of the.
I know the only thing I know about it is that it's like it's sort of like Roku. That's all I know. Hey Stevie, how are you? Um, but I've always owned Roku stuff. And it's just it's pretty cool. I can't really compare it to the Fire Stick because I don't know anything about it, but I don't know if anybody else in chat, if they have any experience with it or not.
Well, I got rid of cable about 6 months ago because of financial, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was ridiculous what I was paying a month, and I know that I have Netflix that I watch on my tablet or whatever, and I know there's a way to hook it up to your TV, and I only have the TV in the living room is a smart TV. The one in the bedroom is not. It's an older one.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to be able to watch Netflix on it, and that's why eventually.
You can do that with Roku, and I'm sure you can with a Fire Stick too.
You
If
can do
it's
a Roku, a Fire Stick, a DVD player that's a smart DVD.
okay.
The Fire Stick is a Roku. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's like an Amazon product,
Uh
and it turns your TV to an Alexa.
oh, okay.
I mean, basically, anything you can do on Amazon,
Uh
anything, then you can do on your TV. And if you jailbreak it, you can even do more. Jailbreaking, it's just breaking into the security and installing your own software and links. You can get free movies, free pay-per-view, free this, free that. It's super easy to do, but highly illegal.
I see now why you're in Twitter jail.
Well, I have some hobbies that I've been messing with cell phones since the flip phone.
Oh, okay.
It's been a hobby, and computers were a huge hobby for years until I left the IT field. When I left the field, it was just my job had nothing to do with really computers anymore. It was a totally different end of the IT spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't keep up with computers, but I do keep up with phones.
So if you were to get a Roku or a Fire Stick, which one would you prefer?
Roku, 100%.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'd go with Roku. You'll pay a little bit more through Roku, but look around online. There's all kinds of coupon codes out there where you enter a code in, you get 2 free weeks. You just gotta spend a little time looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all my stuff is Roku stuff, and we've had no problems with it.
And I have 11 Samsung TVs in my bar,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all connected to the internet because I have a really good fiber connection. And I just run like the Chive and Fail Army and Pet Collective and just interesting streaming stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I looked the other day and they're up to like 940 channels for free on Samsung TV.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's literally free cable with movies and everything built into your TV. All you got to do is connect it to the internet.
Huh.
And you can get one of those TVs for like $250.
Oh wow.
So, I mean, that's an option where you don't have to pay anything by the month. You just use your internet connection. There is no bill ever. So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
I mean, you can Google what channels are on Samsung TV, and I mean, there's everything on there. It's crazy. I mean, there's hundreds of channels, and it's free.
Yeah. Well, sometime we'll have to talk on one of these channels here.
Yeah, you can email me anytime. I drop my email in the chat all the time. It's complaining@gmail.com. Just shoot
If
me an
he
email
would,
if you got a question.
if he could get out of Twitter jail, Judy, you could message him on Twitter. He could explain it.
Well, you can message me all you want. I just can't answer you.
Well, yeah, you can't. So that wouldn't help her though.
No, I'm gonna. Well, if it's not back by tomorrow or the next day, I think I'll just make a new Twitter, which will be a bummer because I've had that one since like
Forever.
since the beginning of Twitter. I think they were public or open for public consumption for like 2 weeks when I got it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That sucks though that they didn't give you an explanation for extending it.
Somebody went through a bunch of old stuff and just went report. They probably got a bot army, so it was like 100 reports. And I mean, there's no you're not talking to anybody at Twitter right now. He just fired another 200 people or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
Twitter's upside down right now. It's a mess.
that
But
is
anyway,
crazy.
yeah, I don't recommend the Fire Stick just because it's pretty much an Alexa, and I don't
Mhm.
trust Alexa or Google Home at all. It's not
Yeah.
something I would ever have in my home. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't want nothing in my house that's going to record
No.
everything.
Well, your cell phone's bad enough.
Yeah.
If you have an Android phone or an iPhone, it's listening all the time, and there's really nothing you
Which
can do to shut it
sucks.
off.
Yeah.
Well, if it's listening to my communication all the time, other than being on this show, it's damn well bored.
Oh no, I'm not talking about your communications. I'm just talking about what's sitting on your end table, and you're having a conversation with your neighbor in the room.
Again,
Yeah,
it's damn well
it's
bored.
bored. Okay.
Hey, Tonka, how are you?
I'm very choosy over friends and yada yada yada. You know.
I wish I had that luxury. I have 100 new friends every day. It's scary sometimes.
Why do
Never,
you have so many friends every day?
just strangers walking into the bar,
Oh,
customers that I got to deal with every day that are from different places. I'm in the vacation land in Minnesota. We deal with a lot
there's
more
a
out of
vacation
towners than
land in
locals.
Minnesota.
Oh yeah. North central Minnesota is well. Let's see. Tom Cruise has got a place right down the road. I think Oprah's got one. There's a bunch of freaking people. Matthew McConaughey's got a place up here. I think Tom Cruise has one in Cross Lake. Yeah, there's a lot of very famous rich people that come to this area that drive up the
Oh,
property values.
okay.
So they must stop there on the way to Truckee.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so Big Al Musical wants to know. He says, Big Al, do phones have the same hidden mini OS like all chips since 2008 have is it a Minix? That way, even if the phone is off, they can still listen to you.
It I've never personally seen the program itself, but I am told that it's there. I'm told that capability is there. I've
Oh,
never
wow.
seen it actually operate with it hooked up to a meter. I've never seen it do it, but that's not to say somebody can't do it remotely.
Mhm.
Nothing surprises me anymore with electronics. It's we've come so far in the last 20 years. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
Which is why, if Brian Kohberger was smart, he wouldn't have brought his phone with him.
No, he wouldn't have, and I don't understand why someone in that position would.
Hmm.
It really doesn't make any sense to me unless he's planning on using that as his defense and saying, "Look at what I'm doing. Well, look at what I'm learning. Why would I do that if I actually did that?"
Okay, so let me ask y'all this because I was thinking about this and I actually asked Troll this the other day. They said that he had been in the area of the house 12 times. Hey, James, how are you? Tracy, how are you? So that would be once a week for the 3 months, August to November. So let's just say he went there once a week. Does that really honestly sound like he is stalking this house to anyone
It seems to me that he was stalking the people in it,
by going
the
just once a
girls.
week?
Yeah, he was.
Or could it have been just, and I'm just asking a general question, could he have been maybe visiting someone close to there? Like a
Anything's possible.
like a creepy neighbor?
Well, maybe.
I don't know. It just seems
Maybe
like
they caught his eye when he was visiting the creepy neighbor.
because I mean, I'm not gonna say that he wasn't stalking the girls or the house. It just seems like if he was obsessed with them, that he would have been there more. Hey, Carrie, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Like he would have, which I know that he had means of stalking them, through social media and all this and that. It just seems like it would have been more than 12 times because then there was the one time they said after the murders that his cell phone pinged there, but they don't believe he entered the town of
I still
Moscow.
I still don't understand how they say he didn't enter the town.
That's what don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because I've looked at the towers and they should be able to get down to about 2 feet with GPS in that tower.
I mean, they claimed that he was in that area 12 other times, and I mean, why 12 other times? But this one time they don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't.
You know,
It doesn't make any sense.
unless he was hitting their Wi-Fi each time. You know, he was close enough to the house that he was hitting it, but
It'd be interesting to see if they served a warrant on the cable company looking for his MAC address on open Wi-Fi networks, because that's a log file that the cable company would have, is wherever his MAC address connected to and what the gateway was. There'd be a file for that.
Well, surely.
So if he drove by someone's house and briefly connected to their Wi-Fi, it would show up in a log file somewhere, a searchable file. Because every connection to every network is logged when you're talking about commercial internet. Every device that connects through a gateway is recorded.
Well, I wonder if they're gonna. I wonder if surely his attorney though would get that.
You would think so, or not ask for it if they know it's going to hang him.
Well, yeah, that is true too.
But you would think prosecution would know about that, and I have to assume that they do. I mean, this digital age, I mean, everything revolves around devices now.
Well, especially since the FBI is involved in it. Like, you wouldn't think for sure the FBI would,
Well, I know the last iPhone they had to get into, it took a long time. And they had to do an end run around to do it. Now, Android phones, they have no problem getting into them. They're super easy. But if security is set up on an iPhone, it is not easy to get into it. There's very few people in the world that can do it.
Well, yeah, it did. I forgot now exactly the wordage that it said in the thing I was reading a minute ago, but it was talking about that the iPhone, like, you can't get into it if it hasn't been done this way in so many hours and so many days.
Well, what it'll do is it'll force you to put in that 10-digit passcode. It'll say, nope, sorry, we're not doing a retinal scan or a face recognition or a fingerprint until you put in your passcode. Then you can re-enable bio.
Yeah, I just have a finger scan on mine, and that's it.
Mine does it all the time. Mine refuses to scan my fingerprint all the time.
And it's mine's an Android. I don't give two shits. I'm boring.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've got is an Android, and mine has like the little finger scan thing on the back of it, the fingerprint thing. And yeah, if mine isn't done just in a certain spot on my finger, it won't. And if you try to keep doing it like so many times, it is like you got to put the passcode in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting the 23 should be here by the end of the week, so I'll be playing with that next weekend.
Let's see. It could have started out once here, once there. I'm just trying to read chat real quick. Then closer to the event, more frequent. I wonder if they're going to release the dates. Like, we know August the 21st, he was there at the house, and then he left the house, and then literally 2 minutes later got pulled over by the police and gave his phone number to the police when he got pulled over. Auto Flowers says, have y'all heard about third-party DNA transfer? So my DNA can be carried by someone else. Yes, we talked about that 2 or 3 different times about it. So, because I was talking about, like, if you go to a store and you pick an item up, and I think I used a knife. Like, if you go to Walmart and look at a knife, and then you don't buy the knife, and then somebody else comes along and buys it and uses it to commit a crime, then your DNA is on it, which is scary as shit.
I'd like to read more about that, because I think there's different levels of amount of DNA that they can measure, where it was just brief contact or like a fluid situation or something.
Yeah, but I'm
interested in that. I want to read up on that, because
just
there's
think
gotta
of
be
that though.
Levels. Yeah, no, it's scary as shit.
That's you go just to look at a knife.
No, what's scary as shit is somebody can take your toothbrush and rub it on something,
right?
And you'd be screwed.
And get it. Right, and not even have nothing to do with anything.
Rub it on a door handle of a car, and boom, there's your DNA.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that's
is super scary.
Well, now that you've just scared the bejeebers out of half the people on this channel.
it's just another reason to build a shack in the woods and buy bullets.
But yeah, I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
and who was that? Was it Auto Flower? We did talk about that. I don't know, like if let's just say I was to shake Big Al's hand, and then he takes and he goes and he commits a crime. That's scary too, if that's possible.
That's why I want to read up on it, because there's got to be different levels. Like transfer DNA, it's got to be like a faint thing. You know what I mean? When I say faint, like there's not a lot of a sample to go by.
Like it would be different if it was transferred from me to you, and then from you to, let's just say, a doorknob. Whereas it me to a doorknob, it wouldn't be. I don't know. It's still a scary thing though.
No, it's frightening as hell. It certainly is. I mean, it would be relative. It's just as easy to set somebody up with DNA as it is to get them out, I would think.
Okay, and then Vapor says you could try on clothes in the store, someone else buy them, then get murdered, and boom, cops at your door and zero alibi.
Good point. That's a good point, Vapor. That is.
Well, yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's
That's pretty scary. That's a good
How
reason.
How come Vapor's not up here?
I don't know.
Hold on, I'll put the link out to see if he wants to come up. I mean, that would be where you would hope and pray that the store has security footage of you buying or trying the clothes on, but you didn't buy the clothes, and putting them back and everything like that. You would, that is just. Oh my
JB says that's it. I'm never going in public again.
It's scary to think stuff like that, honestly. Like, just have absolutely nothing to do with anything, and then you get drug into it.
We're all just turds floating in a giant bowl waiting for our turn.
That is just, oh my God. Let's see, feel bad for falling asleep on panel the other night. Oh, Judy was wondering what happened to you the other night.
It happens. It happens, Vapor.
Oh wait, hold on.
So we're pretty much dead in the water now till June, right? Unless something leaks.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that there's supposed to be some more stuff coming out tomorrow. I'm assuming it's going to be what they found at the house and the car. Hopefully, it'll come out tomorrow. If not, then yeah, we just pretty much sit and just sit and wait.
Better pick a new one.
Yeah, I need to get started on the other. I got all the Madalena Kojakori stuff. I got the Gretchen Fleming stuff that I need to start putting out there.
Have you heard about the Madison Brooke?
Yeah, she's the girl from Baton Rouge. That she was the LSU student. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as a suggestion, you might want to just make a community post.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say here's the 3 or 4 things that I'm looking into right now, and that way, if people see it, they're bored in the middle of the day, they can kind of look at those, and it's a lot easier because I know for me, I don't have a lot. I'm finding out when you're live what's going on. So I don't really have time to look at anything because I'm not looking at it during the day, unfortunately.
Yeah, I may have to do that.
It'd be cool, just to be able to do a little bit of research. I think you'd find a lot more people may interact and chat and be willing to come up on panel if they know a little bit about, what's going on ahead of time.
Yep, because I love having people up here with me and getting all of their opinions and theories and all that good stuff.
Well, I think that's why you're doing so well. And the chat's respectful. I mean, 99% of the time, the people that come in here are pretty freaking cool.
Oh yeah, I mean we've had a few problems here and there. James, have a good night. We've had a few problems here and there, but not like a whole lot.
No.
You trying to say how you're sick of me?
Huh?
Just a minute. Are you trying to say how you're sick of me?
No. Smart ass. No, not at all. But I'd rather have you be a smart ass than a dumbass, Judy.
I know it. I was going to say it's a fine line.
I know. I ride it all day long.
Uh-huh. Oh, I'm telling you. I just can't wait to see what next crazy damn crime somebody's going to come up with to outdo the ones yet we've already experienced this year.
Well, I think there's plenty of them happening every day.
Okay,
I know
Ray.
around here it's nuts.
Let's see. Ray said he had a news update, but did not get to see about dismembered female found in Texas somewhere today. Oh wow.
I think that's been happening a lot down around the border, hasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, they've been finding people dead all over the place down there.
Oh wow, that is sad. And the Garza girl, I don't think she's been. Which yesterday I really didn't do a whole lot because I was sick. But the last time I checked, they had never found her. They haven't found the couple with the 2-year-old baby from South Louisiana yet. Um, so it's just there's been so much crazy stuff going on. Yeah, Lori and CJ. Yes, I'm probably going to try to cover that. I have been trying to watch a little bit of it here and there.
Did you catch the crime on the homeless guy today in St. Louis?
Mm-mm.
Guy walks up to a homeless guy on the street. Somebody's recording him from the sidewalk, and he calmly loads the magazine to his gun and racks around and shoots the homeless guy in the head in broad daylight.
Oh my god.
Downtown St. Louis.
Oh god. See, that's
it's the
I don't.
degradation of society. It's happening. I mean, it's
Yeah. That is. But what was the reason for it though?
they didn't give a
Just to
reason,
do it?
and nobody even tried to stop him.
Oh
I mean,
god.
it was just the craziest thing ever. It was all over Twitter today. Actually, I can see Twitter. I just can't interact.
Right.
But it was all over Twitter today. I think it popped up on probably 100 people that I'm following.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was on Twitter today, but I was basically just looking through Bryan Kohberger stuff and Idaho stuff and all that. I didn't.
I got to look through Sleuthy's timeline. I haven't looked at it in like 2 weeks.
So I need to go in there. That is just crazy, just in broad daylight.
Broad
But
daylight.
I don't like St. Louis though.
No, I don't either.
Too,
I went there for a Roger Waters concert and I hated it.
I lived across the Illinois state line from it. I hated it. Oh my god, I hated it.
St. Louis is a rough city.
Yeah.
I worked there a lot and never really paid attention to it because I was just there working. But when I went down there for that show, I was like, God, what a shithole. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't like anything about it. Did not feel safe downtown at night, I can tell you that. And I was carrying, and I still didn't feel safe.
No, it's just it's just dangerous. Like I hate it. I really do. I was up there. We were there for like 2 months in Illinois, and then I had to come back south. I didn't like it. Let's see. Just certain feature. I don't know. Guilty. If the dude has a size 10 Nike, they have a problem. I thought the Nikes that they got was a size 13. What is that?
Yeah, it's at 13. Yep.
Okay, 13. Bryan. Unless Bryan is talking about someone else. Bryan, are you talking about somebody else with a size 10? I can't a lot of times, y'all. I love Bryan to death. I really do. But I can't keep up with him.
He's kind of all over the place sometimes. I got to read back a lot with Bryan, but he's good shit.
He is, like, the dude can type quicker than I can. Like, he is just super fast typing. I could be reading one thing and he's going to put probably 10 more comments in chat. Let's see. What I'm saying is if he does not have... Oh, okay.
Well, if they see size 13s, I don't know why that would... Yeah. I mean, they seized a pair of size 13 Nikes, so...
Yeah. Which, like I said, I think that's everything that he had on whenever they arrested him. Still not sure why he would have a flashlight or gloves. Unless he was awake when they...
The gloves thing is a little weird.
And, you know, because they did say that they saw...
The flashlight, not so much, but the gloves, yeah, that's weird.
Well, you know that they said that when they were they were watching him the night that, or the early morning, he put his parents' trash in the neighbor's trash can. He had gloves on in, like medical gloves. So I'm wondering if maybe he always just kept a pair in his pocket or something, and in that way, if he started cleaning, he could just put them on. He would like have them right there. If if he was awake when they raided the house, I can kind of get the flashlight and all that, because if he's out walking around, which I would assume it would have been cold during that time up there, December the 30th, it would have been freezing.
Yeah, it'd be cold. I don't know about freezing, but cold. Ain't gonna be
And
balmy, I wouldn't think.
so like he had shorts. See, it was shorts, the socks, t-shirt, and
Boxers
then boxers, and
and
then
a
the
sweatshirt.
sweatshirt. So I mean, that's pretty much, everybody was like, oh my god, no, that's all they took in the search warrant. I'm sitting here just like, no, that's what the dude had on when he was arrested,
Yeah.
in his shoes. So
It's
just
probably his booking inventory. He didn't have anything in his pockets. No.
right, just the flashlight and the four pairs of medical gloves.
The gloves just kind of make me raise my eyebrows a little bit. It just doesn't make sense, even if they're for cleaning. I mean, what are you
Because
cleaning that you need to wear gloves?
Okay, so do you remember right after he was arrested and they brought him into the courthouse in Pennsylvania, how red his hands were? I'm wondering if he has, like, some people, like if I use bleach to clean with and I don't wear like the kitchen gloves or whatever, my hands get, they turn red. It's almost like a chemical burn, sort of like. I'm wondering if his hands were, if he had sensitive hands, and stuff like that
I
bothered
suppose.
him.
Yeah.
And that's why he wore them, or is he just a germaphobe and he doesn't like touching certain things with his bare hands?
Well, listen here.
Mm-hmm.
If the student said that he started wearing gloves after the murders, that sort of means that he wasn't wearing them before the murders. I don't know.
Wasn't he seen at the grocery store, they said, with the gloves on?
Yeah, but it was all done from the time of
It
the
was
murder.
after, right? It was all afterwards. So I think they were in his pocket from the last thing he was doing. I mean, yeah, it could have been Stevie. He could have been cleaning that day and he just like stuffed them in his pocket and,
I don't know, man. I just drive across the country. The last thing I'm doing is deep cleaning my car when I get there. I'm going to hang out with my friends and party, and
Yeah, but he
it's
didn't have friends, I don't think. Um, and you didn't just murder four people, so you would
true.
have had no reason, to clean your car out and all that. I mean, I could get traveling across the country. The car's probably dirty. They probably ate in the car on the road to try, so they wasn't stopped for a long period of time. The car, they get to wherever they're going, the car's got to be cleaned out. Okay, I get that. Wash the car, clean it out, vacuum it, be done with it. But they said that he literally thoroughly cleaned every inch of it. See, okay, so if the shoe print in the PCA isn't a 13, they will just say that there was so much traffic throughout that house that they can't say who it was. Just it was taken as evidence in case. But it seems like, okay, so if they do that, it seems like his attorney's going to want to know everybody that was in the house that morning, including Dylan and Bethany, and what size shoes they wear.
If he murdered people with those shoes on, there's something on them.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there'd have to be, unless they're white shoes and he soaked them in bleach.
Yeah.
I mean, there would have to be some those kind of murders.
The print.
No, it won't change the print, but I mean, can they? Even if it is the same size shoe, can they prove it was him? Just because, I mean, there would have to be some identifier. They'd have to have a cast of the shoe and have there be like a broken tread or something.
Yeah.
Like they do with tigers.
Like a certain distinct, and that's what I was asking about the car. They were saying there was 22,000 cars, or something like that. And I was asking, like, how are they going to know out of those 22,000 that they got the right car? There's got to be some distinctive type thing, whether it's a mark or a dent in a certain spot or something that they would know that they had the right car.
Yep.
And it
And
would
a
be
lot of times
basically
that's tire prints, and they can do that with tire
Mhm.
prints. It's easy. They're fingerprints.
right.
Every tire is different.
And which that would be the same thing though with the shoes. Like it would have to be because not everybody steps the same way in their shoes.
Right.
You know, they're gonna wear a certain part. If they wear the shoes all the time, they're gonna wear a certain part out more on the soles than they wear another spot.
But to get that
It would
kind of data about the shoe, they would have to have a
have
footprint
to,
in like mud that they could
hmm
cast.
and
Because
then
I don't think
compare it.
flat on a floor, even if they stepped in blood and then walked on the floor, unless there was a broken part in the sole of the shoe that you could identify in the print,
Right.
it would just be that shoe. I mean, as a defense attorney, I'd be like, well, they sold 60,000 pairs of those shoes within 100 miles of this place.
I mean, look how many kids that we've seen on just body cam footage that wears the Vans type
Same
shoes.
shoes. Yeah.
So,
And
and how many of those are going to be the same size as that shoe print?
yeah, there's got to be something specific about a shoe print
Right.
before I think it would really matter. They
Right.
must have really solid DNA and something else to be this confident for them to hold them like this. They got to have something really good
Something. I'm just
for a no bail
curious to
hold like
know.
that. They got to have something good, and I don't blame them for not tipping their hand. Sucks for us, but in
Right.
the end, I got a feeling it's what's going to put them behind the wall.
I mean, I get it. I'm just a very impatient person, but I
Well,
get
me
the
too.
reason why they're not doing it because, you know, they don't want the information out.
They're going to stretch this out till Christmas. You watch.
God, I hope not.
They're going to. I guarantee it. They're bad lawyers if they don't.
I wonder if once the 26th gets here, or like the week before that, or even on the 26th, if they're going to ask for an extension on this.
Lawyers
you
are
know,
smart.
to-
They know people have a short attention span, especially with everything that's going on in the world.
Mhm.
The longer they drag it out, the more people are going to forget about how heinous this shit was.
Right.
Their feelings are going to fade from it and move to other things. It's just human nature, in my opinion.
Right.
By golly, I think you're right.
Andrew Tate. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up and see. I hope they have more. I couldn't convict him on just what we know. That just Samantha, that is true, especially with it being a death penalty case.
Yeah, I think that's what we're both saying too. Is we're
It's
pretty sure they've got something really good.
right. Like it would
I mean,
have
they
to be
must. The judge knows about what they have
right.
and took that into consideration when the judge said no bail. So the judge
Yeah.
knows what they've got.
Oh well, yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if the defense knows yet or not. Have they had to do anything with like that yet? Or they got to tell them what they've got? I don't think so. Does that come in discovery?
Okay, so the defense did what is it? The motion of or the well shit. Hold on, let me go to the website so I can just say the right name of it. They did a request for discovery. That's what it was.
Okay.
And that's where, at that time, the state then came in and sent them, which they call it Exhibit A, was like 995 pages of documents. It was 1,800 photos, and then that one, it was either an audio or video thing. So they did send that to them, but then the state asked the defense for discovery, and the defense says that at this time they didn't have anything to give to them. So I'm sure I
wonder if they're required to give them everything.
I think it's everything that okay. So like when the defense asked for, and let me make sure I'm on the right thing here.
I just don't know if the state has the immediate, if they're compelled to have to give them everything.
Okay, so the defense asked, it was called a request for discovery. So what they did is it was the Idaho code rule or criminal rule or whatever. I think Idaho ICR rule. And basically what they did is just, I would say, copy and pasted it into it because it was verbatim what the rule is. And that's anything from co-defendant, witnesses, like everything that they could possibly ask for, the defense asked for it from the state. And then anything that was in there, if the state had it, they had to give it to them. So if there was something that the state had that the defense didn't ask for, then no, they wouldn't have to give it to them because they didn't ask for it.
Right. Okay.
So,
They're holding cards close to their chest for sure.
oh yeah, I mean,
They've
I
got to
would
have
think
something.
I would think Ann Taylor, and what they're saying, she's like a good attorney. She's asking for everything, along with the books in their office and things in their houses, and like she's asking for everything. Um, and then the state has also asked, like I said, the defense, but at the time the defense responded and said that they had nothing.
Well, I can't
So
imagine what they would have. I mean,
she would have to, I would assume, do her own investigation and try to find stuff. But if they ask for it and she has it, yeah, she would have to turn it over to them so they would know, um, what they have as well. See, I don't believe he had pics of the girls or girl. And that was another thing that I was curious about, just Samantha, because that source came out and said that when he was arrested, the phone was collected, and that's when they found numerous pictures of this girl, along with that girl being the girl that he sent the messages to. But then in this one, in what we read, he didn't have his phone on him. They didn't even put that in there, and you would have thought, like, whenever he was arrested, he would have brought his phone with him, or they would have.
I wonder if his booking documents are public. Let me take a look.
I mean, only thing that. Hold on, let me go back and pull it back up here. Oh shoot! Wait, I already have it pulled up. It's on another thing. But everything that was released is what I had showed, and it. Oh shit! Why is it not pulling up here? But it didn't have his phone listed, which I thought was weird. I mean, I don't know, unless they just didn't put the whole phone thing in there, because it may, there may be other things involved with what they found on the phone. Or then again, they may not put in there what they found on it. That may be for.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what he's booked in with, and I don't think it's public information.
Okay. Let's see. And this doesn't even say, and I got to zoom out on this where I can see it. What the heck? Okay. I'm trying to see if there was. See, the receipt inventory of seized property. Let's see. It was personally served on Bryan C. Kohberger, and this one says see attached FBI. And then it goes down to the next page, receipt for the property, and that's just the silver flashlight, the medical style gloves, the white t-shirt, sweatshirt, shoes, socks, shorts, boxers, and the buckle swab. And then it says nothing follows, and he signs it. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything else that I might have missed on this other page, but no, that's all I see is just those things, and then the stuff that they're claiming that they're searching for.
Oh, here you go. I just found an article on Fox 5, Atlanta. Here's just one excerpt from it. It said, aside from the fact that he would have to explain in the middle of the night why he was regularly in the area 10 miles from his home, there is this. According to a recent interview of Steve Goncalves, the father of victim Kaylee Goncalves, Kohberger at times was so close to their house that his phone was picked up by their Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, I remember
that being in print. They had to be like, whoa, wait a minute, we need to get all these Wi-Fi records and find out where this guy was at.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Gonzalez came out with that middle part of the January, in the
Yeah.
part of January, somewhere around in there. And he
But I
was
can't
talking.
find anything about when they actually took possession of his phone. Like anywhere.
Yeah, the only thing that came out was the other night the sources came out and said that his phone was collected after he was arrested, and they found pictures of one of the victims.
The only thing that would help is pictures or pictures. You know what I mean? Did they find 2, 3, or did they find 100?
I don't know. I think it just said, I want to say it said the word numerous or several or something like that.
Well, there and
And
again, I mean, he could have had 800 pictures on an SD card, on a memory card,
right.
and burned that
And
card up.
they did say that they were pictures that he had downloaded off of her social media. Because I was curious, was it pictures that he physically took of her, or were they downloaded off of social media? But the source claims that they were downloaded off of social media.
Yeah, unless he was taking pictures of her at work or something like that. I can't imagine him getting close enough to anyone to start taking
Yeah,
pictures.
right. Let's see. Stevie, I don't know. I wonder if they did cut the power when they raided the house, and maybe that's the reason why he had a flashlight.
Maybe.
And Big Al, you got vapors trying to say something to you.
Because they get a warrant to get the info off surrounding homes' Wi-Fi. They wouldn't have to vapor. In cases like that, they would go directly to the ISP in the area and just request the log files from all the cable modems. So they would just take his MAC address and plug it into the spreadsheet or the data file that they get, and look for his MAC address in different connections. And then from his MAC address, which every electronic device that connects to the internet has a MAC address.
Mm-hmm.
Can you mess with that? Absolutely. 90% of the time I'm on the internet, my actual MAC address is not visible. I use a fake one. But that's not, something everybody does.
Right.
Especially with your phone. I mean, it's just, I don't even do it with my phone because I don't care. I'm not doing anything wrong. But they would look at the data set and look for his MAC address, and everywhere it came up, they could see the MAC address of the cable modem that they connected to, or the Wi-Fi network, what time it was, and then you cross-reference that with the customer database and get the address.
Yeah,
and
because
literally create a map of every time his phone connected to a different open Wi-Fi network and when.
maybe they've done that. And
I worked for an ISP, and it wasn't an unusual request. I will tell you that right now.
I mean, because
And
they
that was
did
a long time
say,
ago, so now it's a lot easier.
right. Well, in the PCA though, they did say that out of those 12 times, it was mostly, "Hey, Brad, how are you?" That he was there late at night or early in the morning around their house, except for on one occasion. Like when he got pulled over on August the 21st, he was there from, I think it was 10:34 to 11:34, something like that. And then like 3 minutes later, he's pulled over by the police at 11 something. So I'm wondering what time this other time was that they said that, it wasn't late at night or early morning. And I'm still curious if out of those 12 times, did he stop showing up there when Kaylee had moved out and wasn't there? Let's see. All right, let me find it. Okay, I'm basically asking if he connected to their Wi-Fi. Couldn't they basically track his movement through other Wi-Fi's he's connected to?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it would create like a a map, sort of like, wouldn't it?
Yep, it would. If you have the data, say Comcast is their fictional internet provider in that town.
Mhm.
Usually there's not more than 2 in a town. But they would go to the 2 biggest with his MAC address and a warrant and say, we're looking for this.
Mhm.
And they would give him a data set and go, here's your data set. So they would scrub through their database, pull out any instance of that MAC address and hand it to him. Under a warrant, of course, I'm sure. I'm sure they
Right.
make him get a warrant just to cover their ass.
Right. But how long? Okay, so if they were requested that or a warrant, with a warrant, how long would it take them to get that data?
These
to them?
days, almost no time at all.
Oh, okay. So it's not like it's
literally
something.
it's a database query. That's all it is.
Okay. So it's not like something they would have to wait weeks for.
No, it could be done in a day.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure if a tech got the request in the morning, that for sure they'd have to be able to get it done by the end of the day.
That night. Okay.
Because it's literally just a computer running queries against their databases. So you just set it up as a search and let it run.
Oh, okay.
And computers are a lot faster than when I was in the business. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now everything's on the Amazon cloud. None of these ISPs even have their own storage centers. Yeah, it would give date and time of connection and the address that the cable modem or the open Wi-Fi network belongs to. Vapor.
I would assume though that they have all of that, or I hope anyway, that they can, that they have something hard evidence.
Are they working with the FBI at all?
They were.
And if they are, the guys at the FBI are the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really are when it comes to this shit. I mean, we've been surveilling our own citizens for years. They know exactly what they're doing. So I'm sure that they would have thought all this.
Okay, I'm not particularly asking about the night in question, but more just say how often and close he was to the area of the house. I would think, with it being the 12 times that they would have, I would think they would get like all the information for each 12 times, right?
They get information every time, yeah.
Every time that they're claiming that he was in that area, they would get.
If he was by it long enough, he would connect. Okay. All you need to do is just drive down a residential street with your Wi-Fi on, and watch the networks pop up on your screen.
Oh yeah,
literally every house you drive by, it'll be like,
right.
Do you want to connect? Do you want to connect? Do you want to connect?
I mean, I sit in the grocery store parking lot and just try to connect to their customer Wi-Fi, and there's like vehicles in the parking lot that that is popping up. There's the gas station. There's other people's houses. There's.
But here's the really scary thing. Okay, so a cable company can set up, like Comcast has a thing. I don't know if it's Comcast anymore. They're morphed into another company now or what, but they used to have it where you in your contract, your Wi-Fi was open to their network.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you were a hotspot for anyone. You were a cable modem.
Oh wow!
And most people didn't even know it, and it's been going on for years.
Even if they had a passcode on it or a password or whatever,
they would have a separate section in the router for their customers to use that connection to gain access to the internet. That's like part of their package.
If you go to a store, I know like the Dollar General, if you try to connect with the Dollar General's Wi-Fi, they have one for the store, and then they have one for the customers. Is that what you're talking about?
This is one you'd never see.
Oh, okay.
You would never even see it. It's just programmed into the phone, into the network, that if you get this device, it's allowed. So what I was getting at is, they may have log files of vehicle or devices that didn't connect but attempted to.
Mm-hmm.
Or they pinged back and forth and said, I don't know you. Well, I don't know you. Well, peace, next network. But there's a log of that, of that attempted communication between two devices.
So basically, anywhere you go with your cell phone, you can be tracked.
Yes, 100%, whether your location services are on or not.
Okay. That is crazy.
Yes. And it might not be real-time tracking,
Mhm.
but they can go back and track you.
Well, I mean,
Depending on where
nowadays
you
there's
are, I mean, if you're in the sticks and there's no houses, it's going to be a lot harder for them.
yeah, because that'd be like me and where I live at. I probably wouldn't pick anything up until I'm 10 miles away from my house.
Yeah, for me, it'd be about the same.
Because just to get into the nearest town to me is 10 miles away from my house.
That's
So
me too.
that's,
Mine's like
so
16 for the real town.
yeah. And yeah, I'm just from a city. I'm 30 minutes.
I'm 45 miles from the nearest
So
city with more than 40,000 people.
Out here, if I'm not on Wi-Fi, I'm not getting a signal at my house except for maybe one few little small tiny spots in my front yard. And
Yeah.
so it's yeah. In order to track me, you would have to wait till I'm 10 miles away from my house.
Right.
Vapor, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How is everybody?
What up, dog?
How are you?
Did you take caffeine pill?
No, not at all.
I just wonder if we get to hear you snore again.
No. What I'm trying to get at with this Wi-Fi thing is, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of where to start. So with the Wi-Fi, if they could track every Wi-Fi he went by that offered him a handshake or whatever, even though he didn't accept it, if they could track, it would be easier to track more exact where he went every time he went into that town, is what I'm saying.
Right. But when you pass a Wi-Fi network at 30 miles an hour, you're not going to get a handshake.
Right.
Or it's going to be a one-way thing.
When you get into the residential areas,
Yeah.
like around the house, he's not going to be going that fast. He's going to,
Yeah.
and if he's snooping or whatever, then he's going to be going pretty slow. Or whenever he gets to the destination that he's going to, then he's going to,
Yeah, then it'll be a flurry of communication attempts.
So if they are searching for, you were saying maybe his IP address from his phone or something.
Well, it'd be his MAC address, the actual IMEA of the phone.
Yeah. So if they're searching for that, will it come up with every single time in the last 6 months or whatever?
However long they have the data set to store. I mean, it's how much space are they willing to pay for their databases? Because it's all in the cloud.
It just seems to me that the Wi-Fi would be easier to pinpoint where he was in that town than it would be from the cell phone data.
Well, cell phone data is weird. There's a lot of diagrams out there that explain it. I mean, you do need some level of triangulation, but that was present in that town. So this should be able to get down to, 3 to 5 feet.
Okay.
On any device. I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, if I was going in there and I was installing GPS tracking and mapping on a bunch of semi trucks, the first thing I would do would be a cellular discovery, and that town would pass. We'd market to the businesses in that town because we could give them exact tracking to what street they're on within 3 to 5 feet.
So depending on how fast he was driving would matter on how many Wi-Fis have connected to driving through the town.
Yep. Yeah, because you've only got so long. I mean, unless you got really good antennas on your Wi-Fi, you only got so long to make that handshake. And I'm sure putting it out as milliseconds, it's how long is the device going to take to respond, and when it tries to respond, are you going to be there?
Yeah.
Are you already gone? It really depends on what they log. Is it every attempt at a handshake? If it is, then he could catch a bunch of places just flying by.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, and that really comes down to the ISP and what storage they're willing to pay for to have what level of logging. But then you get into those 3-letter agencies that are of the government type that probably have it, anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said when you said the FBI was the best at this, I disagree.
Well, the FBI is the best at getting into electronic devices right now, by far.
I don't know. I think the CIA is better.
I'm pretty sure that the CIA came to the FBI for the last few iPhones they had to open. Pretty sure. But I mean, the CIA and NSA are, I mean, they're the same thing. I mean, they're 3-letter agencies that know a lot more than all of us do.
Oh,
and
yes, they do.
they know a lot about all of us. And there really are no secrets anymore that you're in a digital world unless you stay out of the digital world.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the only way you can not be part of it, is just to not ever be in the digital world, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Right. I mean,
my grandchildren are already in the digital.
Yeah, I couldn't live without it right now. I couldn't run a business without being a part of it. There's just no way. I'd go bankrupt no time. You know, it's the way the world works now, unfortunately. Until I get my cabin in the woods. I'm kind of stuck with it.
Terry, thank you so much for that super sticker. That was very
Eventually,
nice.
you're going to want Wi-Fi in that too. Sorry.
Yeah, it'd be Starlink,
no,
but I already got an ID for that. Certainly wouldn't be in my friggin' name.
No.
All right. Well, I just wanted to talk about the phones and the data and stuff.
All right.
If something else comes up, I'll jump back up.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up and explaining all that.
I try. And if anybody has questions, above the level that I explained, you can always email me or hit me up on Twitter.
Well, back to your curiosity the other night about the websites for dating inmates. I propose.
I still can't believe they have that.
I propose
that is crazy.
That we have a contest every month, and it costs you $1 for whoever you want to pick to put in for the voting for everybody.
I'm 100% out of this convo.
You brought it up last.
I remember you saying something about you wanted to come up and mention something about a contest.
Right. Yeah, everybody can nominate an inmate who they think is best, who would be the hottest inmate for the month, and then we'll just take every dollar donated for every person you nominate. Then
I have to nominate them?
No. Everybody in chat can nominate whoever they want. Okay, and then whoever wins after the voting for the month or whatever, then half of that money that was donated to nominate them could go to their commissary. We'll just put it on their books. And then the other
dipping out of this.
Big Al didn't jump the ship, y'all.
Yeah, he bailed.
And Michelle, thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. And she says, best channel on YouTube. Thank you for all you do. You are very welcome, and thank you for being here with us. That is just, do people really want to give their money to an inmate, though?
I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, there are people in jail and prison that have been wrongly convicted.
That is true. There really are.
And there's also women, so we'll say in the case of a male jail, there's also women that have been abused in a lot of ways in their life, but they'd like to be in a relationship, and being in a relationship with somebody behind bars is safe.
Well, they definitely know where they are every day.
That's right.
They don't have to worry about anything. But I mentioned a week or two ago about that group on Reddit, that Bride Nation. They actually took it off of Reddit. They got rid of it. They banned the whole group because they said that it was something to do with moderators wasn't complying to the Reddit rules or whatever you want to call it, and they ended up getting rid of it. I'm sure that hurt all of them women's and a few men's hearts. Some of the stuff, y'all, was just
nothing new on his little lovebird from Kentucky.
I haven't seen nothing else about her. The last thing that I saw about the Brittany Hislop lady was that there was a psychiatrist that had sent her a letter and was talking about she knows the reason why she's writing him and claiming to be in love with him because she wrote a book about stuff like that. And that, she had basically saying she had daddy issues when she was younger, and stuff like that. But I don't know if Brittany has responded back to her, if she's still writing Bryan. I'm pretty sure she was probably pretty upset being, seeing that there was other women sending this dude $50 for Valentine's Day. Especially after she posted like in 2018 that if she ever found out that a woman tried to take her man away from her, that she was in love with what she would do to him. And it wasn't very nice what she said she would do to him.
Oh.
So
she sounds like a prize.
Yeah. A very mentally ill one.
A snaz dooley.
A snaz dooley? I've never heard of that. But yeah, she I don't know. And that was another thing the psychiatrist said that she wrote in her letter was like, do you understand that there could be other women who are writing Bryan? And maybe he's talking to them too, just like he's talking to you. But then I've seen, and I don't know if this woman she posts a lot on one of the Facebook groups, and she's defending Bryan. She doesn't think he's guilty and all this and that. And she said that she called Latah County Jail and asked them about Bryan, and they said that it was Bryan's decision not to accept any messages or mail or anything like that. Heaven Star, thank you so much for becoming a member and welcome to the family. That it was his decision not to accept anything like that. So I'm sure he's accepting the money, but not any messages or anything like that.
Can he turn it down?
What, the money?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it just go into his account and it's just there?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Me neither.
I mean, I would assume that it just, you would just send it to, I would guess they have a number. Hold on. Hold on. Let me find the receipt that girl, hold on. I got to find my Bryan Kohberger folder here. I've got the receipt. She actually posted it on Facebook, or not on Facebook. I'm sorry, Reddit. So I took a screenshot of it, and so it has his name on it. Let's see.
You probably can mail money directly to their account, but which is another reason why correctional officers in most cases have to go through and open up every piece of mail. But the only ones that they read were jail to jail mail.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from the outside was not read unless it had to do with something legally, like they had a what do you call it? Restraining order on somebody. And that person that you had a restraining order on wrote to you or was trying to say that, if there's something legally about it, the officers might get involved. But other than that, it's just an idea of opening up the mail, making sure there's no contraband in it, making sure there's no money in it, and da-da-da-da-da. If there is, you give them a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's contraband, they don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is the receipt that the woman sent the $50 to Bryan for Valentine's Day. And it has Getting Out at the top, that's the name of that app, I think it was, that he uses. But let's see. So she did $50. She got charged $4.50 fee for it.
So they charge like 9%.
Yeah. And then she used her credit card. And it says here $54.50 has been charged to a credit card at 22. What is that? That's what, 10 o'clock at night? 2,200 hours.
That's 10 something.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10/23, so on the 13th of February. So she sent it right close
Where's
to
she
midnight.
located though?
It don't say. It don't even have her name on here. It just has his name, inmate account, Bryan Kohberger 383. So maybe that's his number, 383.
Yeah,
That
I'm just
You
curious.
know, an
Might have been.
easy way, Scarlett, for you to do the 24-hour time is when you try to transcribe it. It's either minus or plus 12,
which would require me to do math.
which is pretty easy normally because you get to the point where you start memorizing that
I used
1800 is a certain number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, used to. I knew them when I was in ROTC in high school many years ago. So I done forgot it.
I was just trying to give you a tip.
I I know up to like 1500, and then after that it's just it's all over with.
Well, it's like I said, it's minus or plus. So you can either do one or the other. You can't do both.
Okay.
So if you got a number that's big enough to be minus 12, you can minus 12 from it. That's what you do. If you got a number that you'd have to add 12, that's what you do.
Okay. I get what
That
you're
make
saying.
any sense?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Because 1300 hours, you'd have to minus 12 because it's over the 12.
Right.
So you left at 1 o'clock.
Right. Yeah,
But
some of them I still remember. Like I said, once it gets past 1500, I don't even remember them. But that was something we had to know in ROTC. But God, that was like forever ago. You know, I was
well,
like
if you know that,
14 back then, and many years ago.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I was just answering a message back. So yeah, and this is through Tailmate too. So I don't know if that have something to do with the whole getting out app.
I don't know. Never
I,
seen anything like that, but
I wouldn't have believed it if it wouldn't have had his name on it.
I don't believe it. It's got hearts on it.
Oh no! She put the hearts on it. She
That's
she dolled it all up. You know, to
what I'm
show
saying.
like there's some crazy people in this world, Judy. Crazy.
No, I wouldn't have believed that.
Super crazy. I just don't understand. I just wonder whether we can keep the chat topic really. Crime crazy. We're just all over the place tonight.
Crime crazy.
Yeah.
Poor girl. You've been trying to keep us on a straight and narrow all night.
Hey Nora, how are you? Let's see. I haven't even been keeping up with the chat tonight. Like that.
So what's your topic so we stay on that and we don't upset Crime Crazy?
Pretty much anything Idaho 4, Bryan Kohberger. Pretty much
So
it.
what do you what percentage or what how much how do I say it? How
You
much
can't ask more than 3 sentences without finishing them.
Yeah, no, it's I think about so many things at one time.
Me too.
Okay, back to the shoe print.
Uh-huh.
How much importance do you place on the shoe print that they found at the scene? To me, it means nothing.
If they were to find a pair of shoes that had that same sole pattern on it, and it was the same size and everything, I think it may have a little bit of significance to it.
Well, yes.
Because it would it's a more percentage of saying that he was there. But I would, if I was his attorney, I would also want Dylan's shoe print or Dylan's shoe size in all of her shoes. I would want like everybody that was in that house that night and that morning. I would want to know all of their shoe sizes and what type of shoes they have. and start ruling people out. Let's say Dylan wears a size 9, but she has that type of shoe, but the shoe in question is a Van shoe that's a size 10.
Well,
And
what about the party they had 2 nights before? How many people were there? And we're never going to find out the actual number of people that went through that house that morning before law enforcement got there.
no, I don't think we ever will either. I don't know, because I mean, if it was, I'm curious if it was like it had to have been a bloody shoe print. So
Well,
it would have had to have been someone who stepped in blood at some point
did it
between,
have to be bloody?
and that's how they found it, wasn't it?
Well, with amino black,
Yeah, I think that's what it was that they used.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, on the surface, putting something like that in the PCA sounds good.
Right.
It's something that's, it sounds like a good piece of evidence, but that thing only becomes a good piece of evidence if they find something in his possession that matches it.
Right. And I think the reason why they put it in the PCA is because they were trying to establish a way that his path from where he was coming from, which would have been, let's say, Xana's room, and around by Dylan, and how she would have seen him and all that. But that still doesn't prove that that's his footprint.
Right. But I think that you're right. I think they were trying to prove that, look, there's a good chance that he was where she said she saw him.
Right. It just, the thing is, though, it doesn't prove it was his footprint.
No.
It
all depends what kind of footprint it is.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a size 10, but they're taking a size 13 Nike out of his parents' house, or that's what he had on that morning or whatever.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant first, I mean, it'd be logical that we'd be looking, if his is a 13, that we're looking for a 13 shoe print. Okay. But isn't there different kinds of shoe prints where there's shoe prints underneath blood, there's shoe prints on top of blood? You know what I mean? There's shoe prints because of trace coming in contact with it. So if it's a shoe print that's underneath blood, then you're right. Anybody could have put that there. But if it's on top of blood, then process of illumination would help out with that.
Well, like King Scarlet's saying in the PCA, I mean, the PCA is only just to say that it's probable cause. And that's what they were, the more things they can put in there that could be probable cause, that helps them get the warrant.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to, like if it turns out that footprint was a 9 or a 17 and it doesn't match his anywhere close, they don't necessarily have to use it at trial, but you can bet she will if they don't. The point is that it was just in the PCA because it was more things that they could throw in there as probable cause.
Yeah.
And didn't somebody say earlier that they thought that somebody went in and cleaned the house maybe or something?
Yeah, somebody was asking if a cleaning crew had went in there without anybody knowing it or any media seeing it or whatever, because there was I've seen on TikTok, well, somebody had taken a screenshot of a TikTok video, and it was right around the time that they had boarded the house up, and there was a is it called a disaster
hazmat?
Yeah, something like that, but it was like disaster shit, hold on. I've got the screenshot, I think, on here. It was called a certain thing. It had it on the side of the van. It was disaster response team was what it was.
No,
disaster response.
That's when the cleaning crew went there, maybe grabbed a couple of mattresses, I'm not sure.
No, they
But-
didn't take anything. That the cleaning crew that showed up that morning, they got shut down while they were setting up.
Right, but didn't they
Yeah.
put like a mattress in the back of their truck or something?
No,
before
that
they
was the defense team taking evidence, I think.
Yeah, that was after he got arrested. After Bryan was arrested.
Well, in any event, the cleaning crew got shut down.
Right.
Yes.
That
So-
was when he so they were supposed to go in. I think it was the day that he got arrested.
It was the same
And-
day. It was the morning.
And they got there, was basically setting up their little tent thing from their truck to the door so nobody could see anything. And yeah, they had to like close shop and go home.
I mean, I don't see them paying a professional company to go in and clean that if they're going to just knock it down. But on the other
But maybe
hand,
at that time it wasn't that they, maybe the guy that lives overseas that owns that building thought he could just get it cleaned and go on. But then he found out that he couldn't.
maybe
And then that's when he decided, well, screw this. I'm losing money doing this. I'm just going to donate this to the town and they can freaking pay taxes on it.
yeah.
And I'll take an insurance loss on it.
Okay, so here's the picture. It was off of a screenshot off of a TikTok video, and this is right around the time that they were boarding the house up, and it's a disaster response, whatever. If I zoom in on it any closer than that, it gets like super blurry.
Well, couldn't you just go back to the pictures or video you had from the day when they were setting up and see if it's the same van?
Oh shit, that would. Let's see if I got that. Where's? Oh my god! Do you know how many folders I got on this computer?
No.
A lot. Okay, so and I have to go through each one of them. Wait, did I even get a screenshot of that? Oh shit, I don't remember if I got a screenshot. I got screenshots of when they were moving the mattresses out of the house.
Yeah.
I don't, and they were just regular pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Load them in the back of them. But I'm trying to think. I might not have taken a screenshot when they were. I think
There
it
was video
Bryan.
on News Nation and all that stuff. From
Yeah,
that stuff. Yeah.
I think it was Bryan Inton that had recorded that when they were there, and then they got shut down or whatever. I think that's who was Crime Crazy when they had came in. The cleaning crew the first time they had came in and was going to clean the house up, and then they put a hold on it, and I believe it was Ann Taylor and that whole defense team had put a stop to it, and it was during the time that Bryan had gotten arrested, and there was a video of it, and of the cleaning crew, like they were there, they were already out in and out of the house, putting their little tent thing up from the door to the vehicle and all that. And I did not get a screenshot of it that I can find. Let's see.
I'm just a reason why I'm asking is, I mean, one, I don't think anybody would have paid it. That's probably a pretty costly service, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's
And if they're just going to knock the house down, you know, being that it's boarded up and fenced off, the reason why I'm asking is because what if they didn't clean it up, okay, and they knock the house down?
Yeah, it's a biohazard, those spots of blood.
What kind of weirdos are going to be trying to pick through and take pieces of bloody wood pieces and all that stuff?
The same kind of weirdos that try to date men in jail.
Well,
yeah. There would be, because I even see something the other day where somebody said about whenever they tear the house down, that the college, in order to make some money off of it, they should take the house, the boards from the house, and cut it up into like 3 by 3 inch squares and sell them
as what?
as a souvenir of the murder house.
Why would the college want to even? I mean, that's like the college saying, "Hey, we're going to glorify this."
That is what somebody said that they should do. Cut it
I
up
mean,
into like little squares. All the boards from the house, cut it up into little squares, and sell them for like $50 each little square.
well, I mean, if they were going to do something like that, I think they'd be better off making like a little wooden coin that you could be put on a necklace with the, the victim's initials in it, like the Bethany and what's her name, Dylan got. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, that's still glorifying what happened.
All right.
They were really into having bonfires. Maybe they ought to just light the thing on fire.
I'm wondering though if they would have to, like Judy was saying,
Because
wouldn't
of
that
the
be a
hazardous material.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a biohazard
When
if they didn't clean it?
I don't know. If they knock it down and it creates a bunch of dust, who knows what's in that dust?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was envisioning them having to take like a chainsaw or a saw and cut out any pieces that had anything on them, and they would have to be treated a little bit different way than the other would.
I'm pretty sure the fire department can do a controlled burn on that house.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah. Because it would probably, if they could do that, okay, thank you, Prom Crazy. It would probably be better to do a control one than to knock it down, create all the dust.
Not only that, they're creating a pile for people to pick through. Some people are getting weird enough that they would follow those dump trucks of piles of wood to wherever they dumped them and then pick through it and then sell. Next thing you know,
Amazon.com.
People are selling pieces of the house.
Yeah, which is just disgusting. Okay,
I didn't think of that till you said it, but boy, it sure makes sense.
There's some crazy people in this world that would for sure try it. Okay, I got a picture of the cleanup crew. I gotta find it. Where did it go? Hold on. Here we go. Okay, so it's the same company. Gotta get it to pull up here. All right, it's the same company that was on the TikTok thing.
Okay.
So it's the disaster response. It's just a different color. Well, no, this would have been a trailer instead of a van, because the other one was a van that was on the TikTok video. But
the van may have been there that day also, though.
Yeah, it could have been. But that was the morning that they were supposed to start cleaning up the inside of it, and then they didn't. It got put on hold. Okay, Judy, hold on one second, honey. Let me grab it. Okay. So maybe that's what they did. Maybe they went in before they boarded it up, or even after they boarded it up and cleaned it or did something to it before they complete. Because once they boarded it up, who's gonna be going back in there?
I'm honestly surprised that people haven't tried to go take swabs of that blood running down the outside of the house yet.
Yeah, because it's still there. And the cop or security or whatever it is that they have there, even though he's parked where he's parked at, people can still come down the back of the hill.
Oh, yeah.
And, try to go through the back door or try, like you're saying, swab the blood off the foundation or whatever, and he would never know it.
No.
But there's sick individuals like that out there that would try to do something like that and record themselves doing it just to prove that that's where it's authentic. This is we got a blood swab from the outside of the house.
Stupid pet tricks.
Yeah. Hey, GOP Nick, how are you? Say maybe they have even they might have put trail cams in the back of the house. To watch for people.
They've got those, those little satellite trailers that pop up with lights and cameras on them that the cops have everywhere. So, I don't know why they couldn't have just posted one here and there.
Or, they've also got the deer cams that anytime there's motion in front of them, it'll send a video or picture or whatever to your phone. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have set something like that up too, and kept it to where if somebody went through there or got close to the house, it would set it off and record it.
I just don't think that they I don't think that they were searching for as close to the event after the event that they have said that he was on their radar. I don't think that they were really looking or thinking that whoever did this would return to the house, that they needed to catch it. I mean, I just think because they said that he was on their radar so early that they weren't looking for anybody else.
Yeah, I think once they got his name, that was it. Wait, Scarlett, am I seeing things, or are those apartments? Tad, you're talking about in the background of this picture. That is, what's his name? Jack D's old house, where Jack D was living at. Instead of it looking towards the apartments, it's the other way. It's the opposite direction.
Imagine him getting all those text messages and phone calls that night from them and not responding, and then him just going, you know what, I'm just going to go over there and walk over there at the same time all this guy was leaving or it was happening or whatever. I mean,
Jack D, is that Jack Daniels?
That's shit. What is that boy's last name? Jack Decor. That's Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. He's the one that's got little Murphy, the dog now.
Does he have Murphy, or do the sisters?
No, Jack's got him. He actually set up an Instagram account for Murphy. And Jack's got him.
Are you telling me that her ex-boyfriend lived that close to that house?
Yep.
Yeah. They said that from his bedroom window, he could see straight into Kaylee's sliding glass door into her bedroom. Like, he had a clear shot.
And he didn't think to look out the window when he started getting 150 phone calls?
Well, he was supposedly asleep.
Yeah, they claimed that he was asleep, and that's why he didn't answer the phone.
But they weren't in that room anyway.
Oh no, they were.
The dog was
over. Yeah.
I'd like to give that dog a big, huge hug. That poor baby.
Sweet.
Yeah,
he's like super cute. Like I follow him on Instagram, and they're always posting pictures of him running and playing and like playing with other dogs or whatever. In some pictures, he just looks super sad, but he's like super adorable though. And I'm not even that type of breed of dog person.
Right.
But you just gotta admire what he's been through.
Right. Yeah, because there was one picture that Jack had posted of him, and he was just sitting there by the water, and he just had like this super, super sad look on his face, and you kind of feel sorry for him. But then
he's looking for his owner,
right?
Or what he thought.
But there's other pictures of him in video and all that of him playing, and
Well, it's that one that I think you guys put it on there today of him playing in the snow.
Yeah, he's a super cute little dog, honestly. Like I said, I'm not even that type of breed of dog person, and he's just like super cute.
Well, that little home movie that she made of him trying to dance with him with his paws, usually dogs won't put up with that for too long.
Right. And he's not, I think whenever the murders happened, I think her parents said that he was right at a year old during that time. Mm-hmm. So he's not super old either.
Now, I think there's a good chance I could not buy your dogs, but if you let me in the house and I sat in the house,
mm-hmm.
I think that they would tolerate me a lot faster than most people.
Yeah. I mean, I have a pit bull, and he's nothing but a baby. Like, y'all saw the picture I posted on YouTube on the community page a couple of weeks ago, him and the cat. Like,
it's all how you approach them.
Right. So
you avoid eye contact with them, and you kind of ignore them, and it gets to the point Normally they end up in your lap somehow, or.
Well, that all depends on their demeanor at the time.
Well, yeah, I said she had to let me in. I'm not saying I'm trying to break into her damn house and she's not there.
Right. Well, mine, even if I let somebody in, mine's go crazy.
Mine won't even bark.
Defending you?
What's that?
Defending you crazy?
Just like it's their territory, and even though they know I'm the boss, they're still gonna they still want their say.
Oh, they can have their say. I'm just saying they're not going to tear me apart limb by limb if I just do what the owner tells me to do instead of being stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, people have no respect for an animal. They're raised a certain way with a certain kind of environment.
Yeah,
So, like,
some people are just like super mean to them, and once they have enough, they have enough. And
well, no, like we'll just say Vapor lives alone. He doesn't have any family. So he's used to reacting to people coming to the door a certain way if Vapor trained him that way.
Well, it's me and my son, and we have our 2 dogs, but the dog breeds that we have are highly sensitive. I mean, I don't even hear 90% of the stuff that she goes off on. It's crazy, and it's not like it's just random noises. It's just if there's something out of place.
Yeah, I think all dogs are like that to a point, though.
Some of them, like Murphy doesn't care. Murphy doesn't have a violent bone in his little body.
Well, my dog
he's
might
just
bark
super
if somebody
cute.
comes to my door. He might. But once I open the door, he wants them to pet him. So
Right. Murphy's the kind of dog that if somebody knocked on the door, he'd run to the door, maybe bark, but it would be because, oh, great, somebody's here to pet me. Like
Right.
that.
Exactly.
Very
Mine are
playful
like,
type.
yeah, mine are like, oh, great, somebody's here to the door, I get to eat them.
You got some nice dogs here, Butto.
Well, if they get people get brought into the house and introduced to the dogs properly, then there's no problems.
People knock on my door and Klaus just like
yes,
raises his head up.
This Doob, whatever. That's my female's a cane corso, so you know how they are.
Yeah, Klaus just will look around, wag his tail a little bit. If you sit by him, he'll want you to pet him, and that's it. Like, he's just super lazy. And he don't want you sitting on his area of the couch either,
Well, that's disrespect.
Yeah, he has his every night. He has, because I have a sectional, and he sleeps in the corner where the sectional part turns, and he has his own big huge blue blanket. He gets on it, we cover him up, and that's where he sleeps at. And until he gets tired of sleeping there, and then he comes and gets in the bed with us, and he's just a super chill, laid back, relaxed pit bull. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Let's see. Dub says they have 2, I guess, cane courses.
Yeah. They're excellent. They're great dogs. They're great. But don't ever think that you're going to go into somebody's house that has a cane corso that doesn't know you.
What's a cane corso look like?
It's an Italian Mastiff. And it's actually not pronounced cane, it's Connie, but everybody calls it cane. And they're I don't know. You just kind of have to look it up. They have a short snout. That some
kind of look like a pit bull, but bigger and a little bit, I would say, probably a little bit more wrinkly than what a pit bull is. Not a whole lot, but
they don't have.
They're huge.
Yeah, they can get pretty huge. Mastiffs. The old English Mastiffs are over 200 pounds.
Right.
The canes only get usually, depending on, I don't know, most of the canes are, around 100 to 130 pounds, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
they're
why
really
are you
pretty dogs, though.
attracted to that breed?
Why? What?
Why are you attracted to that breed?
I'm. My son decided to get her. I told him not to, but kids don't listen to anything you say. And it was him and his girlfriend decided they were going to get it together and share it. And then, of course, she only lasted about 2 months into that dog being alive, and now it's ours because.
They're very pretty dogs.
Oh yeah,
Very pretty. I don't like small dogs. I've never
no,
been
no.
a small breed type of dog. It just
I never used to either. I used to have, we used to have Siberian Huskies and Akitas and things like that.
I
And
always had
then,
Akitas is what I always had.
and then I got tied up with some small, not the normal size, but small, little Chihuahuas.
Like the
And,
teacups.
yeah. And I fell in love with those dogs because you could carry them around, and I have disabilities in my arms. So, you know what I mean? It's easier for me to carry around, and they are a pack dog, no matter what anybody wants to say. Um, they're
well,
very
they're
much,
easier for you to handle when you're like if you have
well, I've had a
like
few,
they weigh less than a baseball.
right.
I've got a few, I've had a few teacups that, this one right here I have is supposed to be a teacup, but he's not. He's a 10-pound dog. He's part Maltese and part Yorkie. But the first one I had, like him, his hair was as soft as a Maltese, and he got hit by a car in front of me, and that
Oh
traumatized me.
wow.
And this one's more like the little bit wirier Yorkie, and yeah, I'm talking about you. And he just thinks everybody's his friend. But again, like I said before, I raised him that way because I live in an uprise for people with disabilities and or old age, depending upon how you qualify by age. And I can't have that's like why I have to take him everywhere I go, because he barks when I leave and I can't have a barking complaint.
Yeah.
Just like when he's barking because of his ball, he wants me to get on the side of the bed. He knows that I'm busy, and he's taking advantage of that 110%.
Yeah, that's why usually I wait till later to come up on panel into the show, because I have to make sure first everybody's home. Second, that they're kind of back and settled, because they're like children. Just like you said, your daughter never texts you until you do a live.
Never fails.
Yep. It's the same way with these dogs. As soon as I get doing something or talking on the phone or whatever, it's like in my face, I want to go outside, I want this, or
Right.
whatever. And if there's a noise, they will just go off, and it'll be horrible for panel.
And I can't believe Klaus doesn't bother me as much, because when he wants to go out, he'll literally just come in here. We've had him 7 years now, and I've heard him bark once out of 7 years. Mostly it's like a really loud whine, and I can't believe out of every time that I've ever been on live, he hasn't been in here being loud with his whining little self. It's
Well, I figures Milo's got that one.
Oh yeah, Milo's been staying outside though a lot more since it's been warm here. He comes in, he eats, and then that's it. He's right back outside.
Aren't you afraid of ticks?
No, they have flea and tick collars, so it's and really the only one that I would probably be the most worried about is Fuzzy Butt, because he's like a very long haired fuzzy cat. He
Yeah.
reminds me of the Mr. Grumpy cat. That's what he looks like, except for he's solid white. But he
Yeah.
has that Mr. Grumpy look on his face. But he's very hairy, and that's would be the only one. The rest of them are like very short-haired, slick ones. Hey, Ashes, how are you? But no, they don't really worry about ticks around here.
Yeah. Well, this little knucklehead. He drives me totally bug shit with his balls. Man. And it's my fault. I bought them for him.
Yeah. No, they're great though.
The only times I can get him totally quiet and distracted is which I haven't been able to buy for the last 6 months, but I got to start buying them again, is bully sticks.
Is what now?
Bully sticks. Bully maybe sticks. And there's different kinds of them on Amazon you can buy. And there's only a few of them that are authentic. And you want the authentic ones? I'll spell it. They're made out of bull, PENIS. And that's why they're so expensive, because you gotta stop and figure. But anyway, there's only I can give you a really good brand, but I can't right now because I'd have to go into Amazon account to look at it. But it seems like the most expensive ones are the ones you want to buy. There's some fake ones out there like anything else. They're also easy to digest, so you don't have that rawhide thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
the problem is if you have a big dog, they come in bags of quantity. So like if you have a small dog, you'll have more in the bag of quantity than you will if you have a big dog. There might be only 6 of them in there. And they can go through them kind of quick, but it's not bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
When the lady that was a breeder told me about that a long time ago, I said, "You are out of your freaking mind." And she wasn't. She told me the right brand to get. And I don't care what my dog's going through. If I could find one of those running around right now that I forgot that I owned, you wouldn't hear a peep out of him until I was gone.
Which we really don't hear a whole lot out of him, though. Just when he's playing with this little squeaky toy, that's it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, he won't even, as much as he likes his balls and his squeaky toys, he wouldn't go near them.
So I don't know if it was you lost or if it was just somebody in chat earlier saying that in June they expect, don't be surprised, obviously, if they come out and ask for a continuance. But at the very beginning, when they were asking for this to be put back, even the prosecution said July would be better for them, but the defense said no, June's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, if they're going to end up moving it, though. If they move it, I'm gonna be upset.
Well,
I've waited all this time very patiently.
But if they move it to a place that will allow television.
No, I think she's talking about moving the date.
Yeah, moving the date after I have waited all this time and I've waited patiently. And then they turn around and they move it. I'm gonna be upset.
You've got 4 more months, so why don't you just go ahead and write the judge a letter expressing your concerns, and maybe she'll take that into consideration.
Are you daring me?
I am daring you, because how hilarious that would be to be brought up in court. I'm sorry, Ann, but there's been way too many YouTubers sending me letters saying that if this gets continued, they're gonna be a shit fit. We need to move this along, okay? They don't have enough content.
I mean, you can only talk about this case so much, seriously.
Well, but all the bullshit and rumors that keep coming out, I mean...
Right. And I'm wondering if somebody's doing that on purpose just to give themselves and other YouTube people content to talk about.
It's a possibility, but you know what? That only hurts the prosecution. All these rumors only hurts the prosecution.
It really does.
Because it's what it's going to do. first off, zero chance in hell that anybody that watches YouTube true crime gets on that jury.
That is true. Yeah. They're going to have a hard time. I still think that they're going to have a hard time, though, pulling a jury out of Moscow. Just with it being a college town.
Yeah.
And there's, what was it, between 25 and 26,000 people that live in Moscow, and was it 11,000 of them are students at the college?
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? I do believe Anne will let no college student on that jury.
Yeah. Right, no student.
Well, it's going to put a whole new meaning to picking a jury. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard. I really do.
I mean, it is supposed to be a jury of your peers, and he is a college student, so technically they're in the right place.
Yeah. And Tad, yes, he will be going to prison for the rest of his life, just because of all the other charges that he has against him. Talking about Alec. They literally proved he lied on the stand the other day.
Who did?
Alec did. Alec Murdaugh.
He got on the stand? I haven't been watching that case.
Yeah. He got on the stand. He was on the stand for 2 days. And there was something was brought up about the badges that he had whenever he was an assistant solicitor. And he had his own badge, and then he had the one that was his grandfather's when his grandfather was a solicitor. And he had blue lights installed on his vehicle, and he got up on the stand and lied and said that he asked some of the sheriffs at the time if it would be okay, and one of the sheriffs that he named, they pulled that sheriff up on the stand today, and he said, no, I never had a conversation with him or anyone else about having lights installed on their vehicle. And it just proved that he lied.
Or the other guy lied.
What, the sheriff?
Yeah.
I don't know. They would probably. I mean, it could be.
Well,
a
look how stupid you'd look. Look how stupid you'd look if you had told that guy he could have them, and now he goes out and commits a crime.
What's Bryan saying about this is the biggest what?
This is the biggest true crime. This is the biggest true crime case the United States of America has done since Manson.
Oh, since Manson? I disagree.
Yeah.
I think OJ was bigger. I mean, I don't want to disagree because everybody has their opinion, but I think OJ was bigger than this. And then, of course, before Manson was that Green Beret Shepherd. That was a huge case in the 50s or 60s. I think it was the 60s.
Oh, I don't know. That was before my time.
It drug on forever, though.
So he murdered people too?
Who, Shepherd?
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was a Green Beret in the Army, and supposedly from what I know about it, somebody came in the house while he had come home from work late, fell asleep on the couch. Somebody came into the house, went upstairs, murdered his wife and his 2 kids, and he woke up in a fog or whatever and said he chased somebody out of the house. He got hit with something. I don't know all the details. I used to know a lot more because I was stationed at Bragg too. So, I mean, it was a big thing there. And so he ended up getting arrested. They said he was a doctor in the Army, and he ended up getting arrested. And I don't remember how, but I don't know if the case was, Jeffrey McDonald. Sorry, not Shepherd. That was my fault. I don't remember exactly how, but he ended up being, there was like 3 trials. And at one point he was out and he had moved to, I believe, California. And then they went and arrested him again, like years later. And I think he ended up, I don't know if he's still alive or if he died in prison, but it was a crazy case. And this is the whole conspiracy thing, is there's been all kinds of people that have researched it and said that they have found the actual 3 people that were in the house that did the murders and everything. And and I guess it was two guys and a girl, and I think at one point she might have even came forward. So yeah, I don't remember the whole thing, but that was a huge thing for a decade or more.
Yeah, I
Oh, wow.
remember that.
I've never heard of that.
My ex was assigned to Fort Bragg for a while.
Yeah, that was huge. Yeah, just look up Jeffrey McDonald. I think he's dead now because, geez, he was in his mid-20s or early 30s in the early 60s, maybe.
Mm-hmm. His name is Jeffrey McDonald.
Yeah. Somebody put that in chat. I don't know why I was thinking of Shepard. There was another case involving a doctor named Shepard, I believe, and that was, but the person in chat that brought it up, that was correct. It was Jeffrey McDonald.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
There's been movies and books and.
Let's see. Bryan, yeah, I still am. It's not very high. It's like a low-grade fever, but I still have it. That is crazy, though. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, there's been some real crazy old cases that,
Mm-hmm.
that had there been all this social media and all this electronic everything that's going on now, if all that would have been going on back when some of these things, even like the Lindbergh baby, the kidnapping and all that stuff, and I mean all that stuff would be huge, even though it's still huge now, it would be 100-fold because of all the social media stuff and all the
Right.
how fast and how much everything gets out now.
Could y'all imagine YouTube and Facebook and all that during Ted Bundy stuff?
Oh my goodness. And that's the reason why Ted Bundy got away with so much, is because of the lack of communications between the states. That I mean, that's how he did what he did for so long. They just didn't talk to each other, and there was no databases, and there was no way that they were really tracking anything unless they actually got on the phone and called somebody.
Right. See, Night Stalker was Richard Ramirez, right?
Yeah, he was L.A.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what other ones. Bundy was before my time.
Well, you got what's her name?
The Eileen Wuornos. Yeah. I did watch a movie about her, which was like the woman. What was that woman's name? I forgot who she is, but like they made her look so much like the real Eileen Wuornos.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was. It's yeah.
And then Vapor, are you out in California?
I'm in Vegas.
Oh, hot ass place.
There's a one closer to you, Lost, that was the Killing Fields, Texas area.
I don't know.
Wow.
When was that?
70s.
Charlize Theron. That was before my time.
Yeah, it's crazy that they could take somebody that's that good looking and make her look that bad.
Because it was almost like you were actually looking at Eileen Wuornos in the movie. Like,
she was a whack job.
Yeah. But her story was very interesting though, because of how she was treated when she was younger. And then when she got up older and she had, decided to go into that life, like she just wasn't taking no shit off of no men. And
exactly.
And
I mean, I can see how all the trauma she went through, but a lot of from way I understand, a lot of the people she killed, it was kind of unprovoked. At that point, it was just like, I'm gonna do this.
Right.
Hey, where's the other monitors tonight? Poor crime crazy's working her butt off.
White Widow baby, they've been having issues with their internet in the area where she lives at, so she didn't get to make it in tonight, and she sent an email, said she would be late. So
there was somebody else killed in Washoe County now?
Tonka says did you guys hear about the girl that was killed in Washoe County? But I haven't heard it.
I haven't either.
Nora was asking if you were on panel Friday night and Valerie Knox live.
No, I don't know who she is, and I've never been on anybody else's panel other than this one.
See, Brian Hoffman. Oh, God. I don't even know what Brian. Okay, if y'all have not liked it, you need to tonight for Crime Crazy. Yeah, if y'all haven't hit the thumbs up, please go do so.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Gabe because he's so busy going on with this some appeal for, like I told you when we were talking about the death penalty thing, he's involved with one of them right now, and he's
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him.
Okay.
Didn't want to bother him with it yet because
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just
Yeah.
whenever he has time or whatever, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that he won't have a problem with it, just because, like I said, when I talked to him, when we went out and everything and ate, and we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and I had told him about the panel and stuff, and like what he had said about it,
Mhm.
I thought that he would have a different opinion because of what he does. Kind of like, oh, great, you're gonna bring up all these things that I got to fight against on a daily basis. But like I said, his answer to, when I brought up the stuff we talk about, he said, well, that's how justice happens. So,
yeah. I mean, even if it's not on this case, I'm pretty sure. Like we got the Lori Vallow trial coming up. It starts. Was it April the 3rd is when Lori starts. So and it's going to be a death penalty case too.
Oh yeah.
So and I'm sure between now and June, I'm pretty sure there's going to be another case that comes up. I hope not. Like I don't want anybody to get hurt or get murdered or anything like that or come up missing or anything just so I have content. But it's it
Right.
happens. And
Yeah,
so,
I mean, and he's already got 2 or 3 things on the plate that I've asked him to do, including he's supposed to be getting me a California lawyer for us to continue with the Kylie Rodney thing. So,
oh yes, the pictures, right?
well, no, yeah,
Remember
no, those are still here. Those are we still have those in mind. But remember,
okay.
I wanted to have another independent investigation into the Kylie Rodney thing, and he would have done it, but he said, I'm not licensed in California. I can't just go digging into law enforcement shit when I'm not licensed in their state. And so he was going to get me an actual attorney general from the state, because he worked with an attorney general in that case I had told you to look up in Oakland that had just wrapped up a couple of months ago, where he represented the victim that was the star witness and putting away those the prison what is that? Who's the head guy in a prison?
The warden?
Yeah, put away. Remember I was telling you about that case, and the wardens between the prisons had a little sex thing going on with their female inmates. Yeah, they ended up convicting that warden.
Oh, wow.
But he represented the star witness for that trial because he represented her here when she had gotten convicted, and it ended up being in a federal prison, so it ended up being a federal crime instead of a state crime, so he could represent her wherever.
Oh, wow. Okay, Tonka said that the girl's name is it Chloe or Cleo? Tonka is her name. Is something Edwards. Let's see, is the name of the girl. She was 14 years old, stabbed by a couple of kids. So that was
at least she wasn't another 16-year-old. Not that it matters, but 16-year-olds in that area seem to have issues.
Let's see, I'm writing her name down.
It was on a college
I saw that somewhere.
Did he say it was on a college campus?
That's the one that she was talking about that was in Washoe County.
Yeah, I don't know. No, Bryan says a college. it was a college campus, but
Oh.
I'm not sure if he's talking about the same thing.
And Danny was as well in his. Okay, he's talking about somebody named Danny was as well in his BK. See, it was a college game, so he must be talking about something
is
else.
he talking about the guy that murdered all the girls at Florida State? Because I thought his name was Danny.
Yeah, he said something about Gainesville, so it could be Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, I think Florida. No, it's Florida. It's not Florida State. I think it was Florida, University of Florida, yeah, because they're the Gators.
Oh, okay.
They're in Gainesville.
Okay. Let's see. This is Washoe County. I'm writing all this down so I don't forget it. And that's in Nevada, right? Washoe County.
Washoe County, yeah, because that's where my condo's in Incline Village at Lake Tahoe, and that's Washoe.
Okay, I knew that I had heard it during Kylie's case.
Yeah, because
there's so much that we have to remember in these cases. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's what stuck out to me when he said Washoe County.
Down this Jeffrey McDonald too. Okay. Werewolf Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "Get crime crazy, an awesome award." Well, thank you very much. That is very nice of you. Okay. Stick this on my calendar. And H-Town Finest has not come in tonight either, has he? Tonight is his birthday.
Probably partying.
He was upset because he thought I was going to miss his birthday when I was sick. And I'm here, and then he's not in here. I know the other night was his little girl's birthday.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They maybe they're celebrating their birthday together. I don't know. Okay. Let me catch back up here. I have to scroll back up, like way up to keep up with Bryan. It felt like it was just out of control, and they were like BK really gruesome killings. Okay, Bryan, are you still talking about the guy in Florida?
I think he is. Yeah, because I think he did stab those girls in the dorms, I think.
Rodney case is a cover up to no water and lungs. Yeah, Brad, yeah, I know.
Here's the other thing. I mean, the same coroner did the autopsy on Kylie and did it on Trinity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the same age, roughly the same body build, roughly close in stature and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the difference? It was a huge difference in lung weight between Kylie and her.
Yeah, I forgot what Trinity's even was. Kylie's was
100 grams. 60. Wasn't it?
I think it was it 160 total? Both of them?
I think she was 60. And that's the size of a child.
Yeah, I mean, and Trinity's was like normal. 250 or 200 and something grams.
Yeah, and I think Trinity, like they were both the same size and body. I think Trinity might have been a little bit taller than Kylie. Probably not much, but maybe a little bit. King Scarlet, her case is still like Kylie's case was the first case I ever covered, and it was.
Vapor does
something right with it.
Does Lost have your email?
I don't know. We usually just communicate on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
I mean, I can send it to you if you need it, but if you look at my emails, I have I have 3 emails, and all of them probably have. Well, I think the least amount is like 48,000 unread emails.
We won't talk to you again.
Yeah, if somebody needs to send me an email for some reason, you need to let me know it's coming so that I watch for it.
Yeah.
Because
you ain't got one coming yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Just let me know. Give me a heads up because I won't look for it.
Yeah, I mean, if I need to send over the email. That's what I usually do. So people, like, if they don't want to put it out on chat or whatever, they can just send me the email address and then I can forward it over to Judy.
I see.
And then that way it's not out there, for other people to get if you don't want them having it.
I don't care who. I mean, it doesn't matter. I won't answer it anyway. If
I was just going to say, it
random
doesn't
people,
matter.
yeah, if random people I don't know are sending me stuff, I don't even. I used to have a media company, so we used to deal with models and all kinds of stuff. So, and it wasn't that kind of a media company, but we still, some of our product people wanted models for their products to put in advertising and stuff. So we would have models sending us stuff all the time. So it's just, I don't even bother looking through most of it unless I know somebody's sending me something that I need to know.
Okay. So Brian was asking, I done lost. Oh, so he said, do you guys think that tomorrow's release is going to be anything? Talking about if they release the stuff on Brian's parents' house and on his car.
I mean, aren't they just going to release what they took from the house? They're not going to release anything that they found in the car or anything they found on computers. They're just going to be kind of like his apartment. Hey, we took this computer, we took some shoes, we took the car, basically.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a rundown of what they took out. Not, I mean, like, we already know what they were looking for.
It's just an inventory list of what they took out, not what they found on.
Now, I think if they find any type of DNA or whatever in the house, or the car, not the house, I don't think they're going to let us know.
Yeah, we won't find
like
any.
Vapor said, you didn't ask for that.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be what they took out of the house. And I mean, they might have found something in the car though. It's that they could put on the list that they found, like they would in a house. I'm curious about what's in the car though. If there's any DNA from any of the victims in that car.
We're not going to find any of that out until the 26th when they start going over the evidence to present to see if there's reasonable doubt to take them to trial.
Right. And that's if they don't push it back past June. I mean, because as of right now, we literally, let's see, it's 153 here. We have 116 days.
Can you imagine how many heads are going to explode if the 26th shows up? They ask for a continuance and they say, well, we don't have anything on the calendar until next February.
Don't jinx it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious. I'm gonna be upset, y'all, if that happens, because I'm not a patient person. I'm patiently sitting here waiting for June 26th, just like everybody else is. Like,
right, but I
know it could. Yeah,
they literally could do it only for the fact that they may have a discussion between the prosecutor and Ann in judge's chambers and say, look, if we push this out far enough, which you need some more time, I want some more time, but if we push it out far enough, maybe all of this nonsense going on out there will die down enough for us to actually find a jury.
Yeah. Ash just said they'll go protest.
Walk around in front of the jail with signs saying, put that bitch on trial now.
I'm telling you, people, especially the people who have followed it so close like we have, and then just the people in the Moscow area, they're going to be upset if it gets pushed back.
I think that Steve might be a little upset too.
Oh, yeah. Steve is going to be.
Yeah, they want this over.
Yeah.
And honestly, that university probably wants it over too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I would assume it's probably not hurting it a whole lot, but I would assume that it's hurting the university financially to a point. People
don't want to send their kids there until this is resolved.
Yeah, especially when they could have came back after like Thanksgiving holidays and all that, and they ended up transferring out to other schools or not even coming back at all. I mean,
especially after the end of the semester.
Right. So that I'm sure it hurt them to a point. I mean, I wouldn't send my child there just because of, and not just because of the Idaho 4 thing, but you had what happened to the Hudson boy. you know, there's a lot that goes on at Washington State University too. Just look how many people has died since Bryan's been arrested, too, and then one right before he was arrested.
Did the Brent thing happen while he was still there on campus?
I think
thought it
it
was after.
happened. It was like 2 days after he left and was on his way back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so he was in progress driving to
Yeah.
his parents' house.
But some people think that he's the one that might have caught, like if Brent would have had anything to do with it, which I really don't think Brent did. But some people were saying that they wonder if Bryan didn't have something to do with that.
Yeah, I wonder if Bryan, while he was driving, got one of those Washington State alerts on his phone.
Wait, do what now?
Because didn't they send out an alert when that whole SWAT situation was going on with Brent?
It went, I know, to the WSU students. So yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would have got it.
Bryan would have been part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they when one of the times that they got pulled over in Indiana, his dad was talking about it, and or had brought it up and said something about a mass shooting, and Bryan was like, "Well, we don't know if it's a mass shooting." You know, he was. I don't think Brent had anything to do with it.
No, I don't
but
either.
I'm still curious though if him and Bryan knew each other though. You know, they might have knew each other, but him not have nothing to do with it. I'm curious about Bryan and the creepy neighbor dude, if they knew anything or knew each other.
I mean, that would be interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's just, you know, we got nothing to do until June except throw out possibilities.
Right. Because, I mean, okay, so Bryan and the creepy neighbor, they're both vegans. The creepy neighbor was a chef. I'm pretty sure it was probably vegan food. I wonder if he cooked food that wasn't vegan. Yes, Mandy, I'm talking about Enon. Let's see. Yes, they knew each other more. I just because of the similarities that they have. One being vegan, I don't think that there's a lot of places in that area other than Mad Greek in Moscow. But I mean, how many other places is it that serves Greek or not Greek food, vegan food? You know, so if you have two people who are vegan, they're gonna end up at the same place or same vegan restaurant at some point.
True.
You know,
especially if there's only one.
Right. And how do we know that Bryan didn't just happen to come in contact with Enon at some point and he found out that Enon lives next door to the girls? That would have been, he could have used Enon as a friend just to be closer to the house to be able to watch the house.
Yeah.
So it honestly, I could see him and the creepy neighbor being friends quicker than I could him and the Brent Kopaka dude.
You remember before Bryan was arrested and everybody was throwing accusations at all these other people. Mm-hmm. And everybody was pointing to the look Steve gave, was it Jack at the memorial?
Yeah.
Okay, well, now that we know that he had zero to do with it, I'm curious what that look was for.
I don't know. I wonder if and I'm being serious here, if they hold some type of resentment, even though they support him.
Yes.
I wonder if they hold some type of resentment that he didn't answer the phone that night.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering. I wonder if Steve was like, if you would have just answered the damn phone.
Right. Like you would have been on the phone with Kaylee when this dude come in the house. You know. And I would assume that probably Jack may feel guilt for that. You know,
it's a possibility.
But on the other hand, if he was on the phone with her and she got attacked.
Yeah.
What
Well,
would-
he could have at least called the cops.
Yeah, call 911. But he more than likely he would have probably went to the house. But
Yeah, but you would have thought he would have called the cops
called not
first
right.
on the way.
Call the cops. That I was just on the phone with my girlfriend, friend, whatever, and she's screaming, hollering, something's going on over there. Yeah.
But do you think that Kohberger would have been smart enough to attack them when he can hear her talking to somebody on the phone? I mean, that would have been a real stupid move. I could have just hung out in the hallway until she got off.
Either that or maybe he would have left if he would have heard her talking to somebody on the phone.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's a whole world of what ifs I'm sure Steve has gone through his head with.
Right. I mean, just maybe
And that's the part that really
Bryan.
sucks.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Bryan would, if he would have heard Kaylee or one of them on the phone, he'd have been like, okay, they're awake. She's talking to somebody on the phone. This could take a while. There's a chance I'm going to get called in this house. I'm just going to leave and for tonight, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, I mean, isn't that true with any situation that's ever happened? Something could have happened in that moment to stop it. But that's just life.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that he's probably feeling guilty for it. And maybe Steve, maybe that's what that look was for. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just curious about that look now, because everybody put that scene into a huge context when they were trying to point fingers.
Right. Yeah, because that was a very serious look that Steve gave to Jack, and Jack literally just looked him dead in his eyes, like, and if we didn't know any better, we didn't know then, I took it as, yeah, you want to do something to me, but you can't because all these people are here.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Maybe it was just a look that didn't mean anything at all. You know, and that's just
what does Steve know? I'm just curious. I was reading one of the comments and thing.
I don't know. I think that's the reason why they want the attorney out from under that gag order, because I think Mr. Gonzalez wants to talk. Like, I don't know if it's these leaks that are coming out, and he wants to talk about that, or give his opinion on it, or if there's something else he wants to talk about. But I think that he wants to talk, and he's not, because of his attorney.
Yeah. I still, like I said, since the very beginning, after the PCA came out and we found out what we found out, I still contest that Bethany's going to play a bigger role in this than Dylan.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to point fingers at Dylan, especially after everything she's been through here lately with all these accusations and all that.
God. I would love to see somebody videotape her going to that guy's house and just whip his ass. I'm positive she can do it.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if her boyfriend could, but I know she could.
Well, yeah, I think she could take it. But I don't know why. And it just may come down to the fact that because we don't know what all she did tell the police, and that's what makes a lot of people, including myself, question a lot of stuff with her. And maybe once, this goes to court and we hear all of it, of what she told, every little detail of it, and it makes sense, I think a lot of people are going to have questions until then. Bethany.
You're right. Ashes said something about, how Steve and her sister and all that, they got all of her phone information. Maybe they did read all the text messages and everything, but I don't believe that there would have been anything to piss them off in there, honestly, just because a couple hours before they were both at the bar and they looked like they were not arguing. They were not having any kind of bad time or anything, being around each other.
Yeah. I don't know. It at that time, maybe he was just thinking, like we said, if you would have just answered the phone, my daughter may still be here, and Maddie and Xana and Ethan may still be here. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can't you can't hold on to the what ifs and should haves and all that. So at some point he'll have, if that's what he's thinking towards Jack, he's going to have to let it go at some
I
point.
think he's probably already over that part if that's what it was, because he knows that he's probably had plenty of conversations with Jack since then.
Right.
I know that, her mom and sister have.
Oh yeah, they supported him, and I'm wondering if maybe the mom and the sister supported him, and the dad was having doubts about it,
Well,
and thinking that
that
if
time.
and then maybe over time he because I mean it's only been what 3 months, 3.5 months now since this happened. Seems like forever ago. Like it literally feels like a year or longer since it happened. But it's only been
Yeah.
3.5 months, and maybe he's I don't know. Very curious about the look. That was like a like a like the type of look that a father would give his daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah,
I don't like you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but we know that Steve knows that relationship wasn't a bad relationship.
Right. Yeah.
So for him to have that look, it had to be something recent that he was not happy about.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, Tad said, Scarlett, they did strip search him first and believed him. I mean, I did hear Mr. Gonzalez say that they vetted his story multiple times after it happened, after the murders happened. Um, they vetted him and went over it, and I'm pretty sure there were some very intense conversations.
Oh
with
yeah,
Jack.
I'm pretty sure Jack was not feeling safe.
Right. He was probably getting interviewed worse than what an FBI agent could interview you.
Yeah, because when you're sitting there confronted
by the
in
parents,
person by the people that you already I mean, you've got a close relationship. How long was their relationship? 3-4 years?
5 years?
I mean,
it was a long time. Like probably not steady off and on, but the point is like they it was still 5 years. So he was around these people a lot. And he was around Maddie a lot. And Kaylee was around his family a lot. So I could just imagine the conversations that they had was probably pretty intense.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't blame them, because if that was my child,
oh yes,
I would, yeah.
Yeah,
it would
I mean,
be a
but
very
hopefully by now they've gotten to the point where they both, just realize what the other person's probably going through, because I mean, it's got to be pretty similar once Steve realized he had nothing to do with this at all, but I just wish he would have answered the damn phone.
Right. I think a lot of us wish he would have answered the phone, because there is a chance if he would have, he might have saved him.
True.
Lost. TJ Talks is trying to send you a message.
Yeah, I'm trying to send him my email, and for some reason I'm spelling it wrong. LOSTSOUL. Okay, I just completely spelled my whole email wrong. Okay, TJ, I put the right one in there now. I don't know why I spelled it wrong.
I'm pretty positive that Steve's never had a conversation with Dylan, but she could have been just as significant as significant, but she could have been pretty significant in certain actions.
I mean, I don't, and honestly, and just to give her the benefit of the doubt,
I don't blame her. I just want to know what she has to say about it.
Right. But I do think, and like I said, just to give her the benefit of the doubt, I wish she would have called when this guy she saw. It scared her, and she locked herself in her room. But Even if she would have called right then, I don't think anybody's life would have been saved.
No, they were
I,
no, but
I
without
think it was
100%, that would have saved nobody. It
yeah,
would have just possibly have caught
caught
him.
him right and saved these families and the community. And I think about the lady that over in Oregon that lost her husband when him and her was attacked. You know, she
Yeah.
had to be scared because they didn't know who did this, and it was basically the same thing happened to her and her husband. She was stabbed 19 times and survived, but her husband was stabbed multiple times and he died. And when something like this happens, you know that had to scare her too because they had no idea who this person was. And her
Oh,
case is still not solved.
I promise you,
No.
when she heard about this case the next morning or the next day, whenever she heard about it, she probably
She
went
was
in
scared.
shock. She
Yeah.
probably went in shock.
Yeah. It's just it's so. I'm not saying that if Dylan would have called it would have saved their life. I don't think that. I think the injuries were too
No, they
too
were
bad.
way too bad.
Yeah,
No.
but I think that it would have saved a lot of grief with catching him quicker. Like I said, with just her and Bethany, with the families of the victims, with the community, the school, the kids at the school wouldn't have been as scared, you
Right.
know, and all that. Because I couldn't imagine being a parent and having a daughter or a son, either one, but especially a daughter, going to college and walking across the college campus, and the person who did this to 4 people that she went to college with could be walking right behind her and her not even know it.
Yeah.
How
well,
do I picture you walking beside her?
I would. Well, my daughter would be. She would be protected. You know, that's how we taught our kids. But you know, not every parent believes in teaching their child that type of safety, which is that's their choice. That's fine. Uh, so I can imagine there was a lot of girls who walked on that campus between the time that the murders happened and the time that Bryan was caught and probably was scared to death.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of girls that sat in the classroom with this guy and didn't even know it.
Exactly. And Xana's sister, I don't know if Xana's sister Jasmine had classes with Bryan or if she was in a class that he was a TA, but the fact is that he was on campus, the same campus with her, and she had no idea that man was on that campus with her and killed her sister and 3 other people.
Right. Look, if he even if he didn't stalk them, he knew Jazz was there.
Yeah.
Because within 2 days, at least, maybe less, there would have been word around this campus that one of those people that was killed is Jazz's sister.
I mean, because how long was it after the murders happened that Jasmine was even brought up as Xana's sister?
I don't know, because I didn't find out about Jazzy until her mom started talking about her. Because I was more into the fact that the 2 of the triplets were still there. I couldn't, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, Dave, the triplets, Hunter and Maisie, they went back to college. They went back to the University of Idaho.
Yeah, that's probably them just saying, "Hey, F you, you're not gonna control the rest of my life."
Right. Now, Dylan and Bethany, I get a little bit more why they wouldn't go back just because they were in the house.
They can't go back. They can't go back until this is over.
Right.
And I'm sure that the school has given them some kind of a provision of, hey, we're not gonna dock you any. You know, they obviously understand that these 2 girls can't go back there until this has got some kind of a conclusion.
I mean, I would hope so anyway.
I would think that after there's a conclusion, these 2 people need a identity change.
Yeah, it's just so many people know their faces.
I don't know.
So that's the thing.
Yeah, you're right, but
I don't think that when this is over that either one of them are going to have anything to fear after it's over.
No, once everything comes out in court, you know, they may just be like, and I'm just using this for example, they may see Bethany somewhere and be like, oh yeah, that's Bethany Funk. You know, she was one of the roommates in the house where the Idaho 4 murders happened.
Yeah, they might not want to go back there just for the reason of, you know, because now they're going to be associated with that whole thing.
Right.
But they're still going to be associated with it if they go to college in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, the people are going to know.
I mean, I would hope that the college is letting them do their stuff online just so they don't fall behind, you know, and because
Well, that's
they're
what I'm
supposed to
saying.
graduate at a certain year and all that. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they've given them a choice and left it completely up to them.
Yeah, because just think if they were to go back to school, like I said, with Ethan's sister and brother, it's a little bit different, even though it's the same situation as what Dylan and Bethany would be, because Hunter and Maisie wasn't in the house when it happened. They just lost the sibling. Where uh, Bethany and Dylan was in the house, and then
Yeah.
there's so much scrutiny over it, especially
Well,
with
we
Dylan.
don't even know, but like I said, I still think Bethany is going to play a huge role. I don't know why, I just think she is. And if they ended up hearing a lot more than what was said in the PCA,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're going to need some, they should have already gotten some kind of help, you know.
Yeah, that is true. And hopefully they do get the help because I mean I even said that even though I have questions about what we've heard about Dylan, I still don't want the girl to get hurt at all.
No, absolutely
Uh,
not. But I mean, can you imagine even if what she said was true, which we don't know if it is or not, but I'm just going to take her that she was in shock, okay? We'll just leave it at that for this. But when she came out of shock and even to this point now, she's got to have a bunch of guilt too.
yeah,
You know,
I
because
could
all these things
imagine.
and all this time she could have run through her head. I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have done, you know.
Like, what if I would have went when I seen this guy leave the house? What if I would have went and checked on him and called the police right then? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I even read that article about it. That she has survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I,
it's got to be it's got to be more than that, though. I mean, she's got to be maybe not the not the same level as the wife that didn't die, that got stabbed 19 times because she didn't get attacked. But
mm,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure that guy's wife has survivor's guilt for sure.
Oh yeah. You know, I couldn't imagine how she felt during this whole ordeal. You know, the attack in Washington of the older lady, and then her and her husband's attack. She was the only one that survived those two attacks. You know, the older lady passed away, and so did her husband. And just, I couldn't imagine because anytime anything happens around there, until her case is solved, it's going to scare the shit out of her. You know, because I can just imagine if that would have happened here
Mm-hmm.
and I survived and something else happened, let's just say an hour from here, and it's the same exact way, I'm going to be thinking, okay, well, I wonder if that's the person who did it to me because.
Yeah, you're also going to be worrying about, he knows I survived. Is he going to come back?
Right, exactly. She's got to be scared. You know, I
Well,
feel bad for her
until
too.
he got arrested, she probably, yeah,
She
she was probably.
probably, I mean, she probably still does so because they're saying that he doesn't have anything to do with those cases,
Oh, that's
and
true.
and so it's she's still got to be scared because her case has never been solved. So I couldn't imagine having to look over my shoulder constantly because of something like that. That's got to be torment, honestly.
Yeah.
Living
Yeah.
in fear like that.
All right. Well, I'm not tired and I'm not going to fall asleep on panel tonight, but my phone's at 6%. So.
All right. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna get out of here in a few minutes anyway. So.
So thanks for having me up, and yeah.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming up.
Hope you feel better.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully, if I can just get rid of the fever, I think I'll feel better. That's like my most thing. I can feel my face is hot, but at times I get cold too. So I think I'm having chills from it. So.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me up again, and everybody have a good night.
All right. You have a good night as well.
Bye, Baber.
Good night.
Let's see, they can't go anywhere around there. Everyone knows who they are. They can't go to different. Yeah, Ashes, that is true. Like, no matter where, because this is just like a national thing. Like, no matter where Dylan and Bethany goes, people are going to know who they are. There's not very many places, especially college wise, that they would be able to go that somebody hasn't heard about this case.
And
Can't
there's
stand.
so many coulda, woulda, shouldas. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And unless you're walking in those people's shoes, I just really think that everybody ought to just stand down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping that her and Bethany and even like Xana's sister and Ethan's brother and sister, I'm hoping they get the help that they need. Because even if I've got questions, I still don't want to see them get hurt or be in like a depressive mood or anything like that. So hopefully they'll get the help that they need.
Well, maybe the help that they need, and awful thing to say, is just basically go to trial and let them get up there and swear in and tell the truth, and
Yeah.
it is what it is, you know?
And I think that whether they take the stand or not, just Brian being, if he is found guilty and he goes to jail, whether it's for the rest of his life or the death penalty, would probably not make them feel completely better, but some like that would be a step uh, of a healing step, I guess you could call it.
Well, if Bryan did it and he gets convicted of it, that would make me, as one of the two witnesses, feel a whole lot better that he's not going to get out.
Right, and not do it to anyone else either. Michelle, have a good night, honey.
I think of everything those two people have been through already, that I can honestly say, and I wouldn't blame them, that right now they're worried about each other and not thinking about anybody else.
All right. Let's see. All right, let me check
And
chat.
right or wrong, that's, I think, human nature.
Yeah. Okay, let me check chat real quick before I have to end it tonight. I think I'm pretty much caught up tonight.
You stay right on it, dear Scarlett.
I did tonight. It wasn't. Usually, I have to zoom back up and down it and make sure that I haven't missed anybody coming in or leaving. And I think I was pretty much on top of it tonight.
Well, if I see somebody ask you a question and it's directed right at you, and I haven't seen you after a couple of minutes say anything, I will interrupt and tell you,
No,
in case it's something that you want or whatever, you know.
yeah, and thank you for that. That's perfectly fine. Because who was it? There was somebody had asked me something and I didn't see it because I was trying to respond to somebody else and you had told me. So I'm glad that you did that. Thank you.
Well, you know, see, like I said, you and your mods, I know, work on stuff behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like me and the Kelly Rodney thing, I work on stuff behind the scenes.
Right.
And you all are good at what you do.
Well, thank you.
Me, I have to work a little bit harder. But like I said, you know,
Yeah.
you just got to do what you can do and do what you are good at. And I like going through old stuff or going back to the beginning of things.
Yeah.
You hear things and see things that you never heard or saw before.
Right.
And yeah, it's just, but I can see you all got your things, you know, we all got our things, that little bit of passion. And that's why I can kind of sit here and be your little your code speech, whatever, your Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson, because I'm not invested that as heavily as you are on some of these cases.
I think I get too invested a lot of times.
So I can
honestly.
sometimes give you another way of thinking about it, or back you up a hair, or well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for that. I appreciate you being up here on panel with me.
Well, I appreciate you letting me have to be up here with you. And
Oh,
once we get done patting each other on the back, I'm going to get out of here so you can close your live.
alrighty. Yeah, I've got to get up early in the morning.
Okay, so I'm going to step down and you say your arrivedercis or whatever you're going to say. And
All
I'll
right.
see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be feeling better tomorrow. And either way, I'll be here tomorrow night.
Yeah, either way, fake it.
Yeah. I'll be here.
Alrighty.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Judy. Have a good night. All right, y'all. So I'm fixing to get out of here. I do have a note though to look up the Chloe Edwards case. I'm gonna read over Jeffrey McDonald because I've never heard of that one, and then the guy who vanished. Was it in Baton Rouge? Is that where it was at, or New Orleans? I've got that up as well. I'm gonna read over that too, and see what's going on with that case. So I just thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. Nikki, how are you tonight? Izzy, thank you so much. Hopefully, I'll be feeling better tomorrow. I mean, like the fever can't stick around forever. So I've had it for 48 hours. So hopefully it'll go away soon. Emerald Queen, you and Werewolf Queen, have a wonderful night, y'all. So I'm fixing to get out of here. Like I said, I got to get up in a few hours. So I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you to all the new subs, to the ones who did super chats and super stickers and all that. Thank you so much. I love you all. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. I will see y'all tomorrow.